Good morning.
Hello,
everybody. Welcome to what is kind of becoming a weekly thing. I don't know if we're going to keep this going forever. We used to do CTG TV once a month.
Yep.
We now have our beautiful video studio, still slightly under construction, but we've been doing live streams now. I think this is the third. Yeah. Andrew, is this correct? Third or fourth consecutive week?
I think this is four.
Yeah, I think this is 4 consecutive weeks. And I don't know. We might keep this up. If you keep watching, if you keep enjoying these, let us know. Let us know. They seem to be well engaged with thus far, and it's helped that we've had a crazy number of like products and things and stuff,
that always helps.
That kind of thing happening. So good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching from. I am Josh Welgus. You know me as Gilly. Who are you?
I'm Josh Carlson.
And what do you do here?
Something cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great.
That's great to hear.
How are you?
I'm terrible. Let's move on. No, I'm good. I'm great. So today's live stream is 20 strong focused. Now, you can ask whatever you want in the comments, but the goal today is to focus on 20 strong because we got our first. It's not a complete production sample. If you read last night's update, I should say, if you haven't read last night's update,
what are you doing here?
Go read that update, then come back because there's probably a lot of important context for you in that update. But we got our first production sample of most of the cards in the boxes for 20 strong. We've been taking a look at them over the course of the last couple days, compiling notes, making sure the things we want are in there, making sure there's no errors, et cetera, so that we can send back a full list of notes to Hopes Games, who are making and manufacturing this game for us. And I will, and we'll say there are some issues. You're going to see some of those issues on camera today, with in particular with the Victorum and Bones decks. Both have, I think, the most things that we need to make slight adjustments on. Yep. However, overall, we are extremely pleased with how everything is looking. We're really, really excited about this product. And so today's stream mostly about 20 strong. And we are going to be showing, so Andrew and Shannon are going, Shannon Wedge, who is visiting from Canada. She moved back to Canada a while ago, in case you did not know that. Most of you know Shannon from answering your rules questions and that kind of thing on Discord and in the BGG forums. But she is in town, and she is going to be on camera streaming some Solar Sentinels along with Mr. Andrew Santoro, who is currently running the show behind the scenes. And who knows, we might, if that stream goes well, if people are interested, they might even venture into something other than Solar Sentinels. But our goal over the next couple weeks is to continue to show off this product, to continue to show off how cool and unique each of the decks are, and generate a lot of excitement, because hopefully mass production is right around the corner, and hopefully fulfillment then is also subsequently right around the corner. So it's a really long-winded intro to this.
Well,
and talk.
Yeah,
say something.
Oh, well,
I've been
I will say, are we getting into this at all?
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Let's get into it. We also, by the way, we're going to show off 20 strong stuff. We do also have actual final copies of Victorum. We're going to unbox that in a second too. Go ahead.
May I talk now?
You may now.
Okay. So we have a very worldly audience today. We have Austria, France, Italy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Presumably America. No.
Presumably. No, that's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. This is a really cool product. We're really excited about it. Did you want to?
Yeah, I'll attempt.
Okay.
I'll attempt.
Anytime now.
So we have a couple different boxes here. We have the boxes that are holding the actual decks. They're the least strong of the boxes. They go up in strength. These
all the way up to 20.
All the way up to 20. You got it. So we have each of the boxes. They're all a little bit different heights because there's different card counts in each of them. So they are customized to the decks. But all of them, any one of them will fit in here with your set of dice. So this is Victorum, it's the thickest one. That's going to go in along with the dice that go in on the bottom, and then the little the dial, and then this sits up top like this, and it will hold it.
Yep. And I don't know if you can tell on camera or not. There's still a good bit of
Yep.
room here with the Victorum deck in, which is again the thickest of the three. So.
Yep. So yeah, that's the intent, is that you'll throw one deck in with your dice, and you would travel with that if you travel, and then. Yeah, like the idea is that the bottom of this has a real nice feel to it. We haven't tested this like a lot with like rolling. I don't know why someone would want to roll their dice in a small box cover, but you can. So see how nicely
can we do a sound comparison?
Oh, yeah.
So listen. So now listen very carefully.
Oh,
so loud.
Yeah, hurts
so
my
loud.
ears.
So obnoxious, really.
Yeah.
Now, much softer.
Yeah,
much nicer.
Yeah.
It's not quite velvet, but it is a soft finish, and it does actually work pretty well for it. Now, could you roll all 20? No, you're never going to roll all 20 dice because 3 of the dice aren't even rolled.
You know the game at least a little.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
Are you ever going to roll 17 of these into here all at once? Not in any of the current decks anyway. No. But for rolling a couple of dice, it does work very, very nice. Mm-hmm. It's much quieter than rolling into a standard cardboard box, even if you couldn't really tell from. We didn't plan the sound design of this live stream around rolling into 2 separate boxes. So there you go. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
What do you got?
So then, each of the deck boxes themselves holds one of the particular decks of 20 strong and a little rule book. Now, this one is the one that covers the general rules of 20 strong. It's got a quick reference on the back of the different dice sides and what they're doing. And that's meant to kind of be a read once and like understand the entirety of the game. And then this is the one that you could be needing to, like, as you get into one deck, you're going to want to more fully understand it. So it goes through the setup and the play. But we wanted that to be a little bit easier read. I like that it folds out and you kind of engage with these rules as just like a single or 2 single pages. And then you're putting it away. And you have a small reference on the back for the reoccurring things. So this will sit in the box most of the time. The rules become very, very, very easy to understand. And so a couple plays and you've got it. And so you won't be referencing this a whole lot. But
This is again intentionally so the most accessible game I think we've ever probably made. Mm-hmm. You know, Trip Lock. I think even Trip Lock is more complicated, likely. Yeah. In its base rule set anyway than what's going on here. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So again, just to note, these are not our typical PVC deck box material for a couple reasons. One, we wanted to do some nicer foiling and embossing on the fronts, and to give this a real nice look, so much so that we have like a little, I don't know if it shows or if we have it with, but there's a card that goes on the back here that gets wrapped into.
It's right here.
Okay, it's for both the other decks.
We don't.
So that you get your details about that deck, because this could get sold on its own. Yep. But then once you unwrap it, this thing comes off, and this just looks a lot nicer.
Similar to if you've ever bought if you've ever bought like a steelbook DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, or even video game, a lot of times it has this same kind of card on the back of it, or even hardcover like book box sets, that kind of thing, often have a card like this on the back that you uses the booger glue or whatever, and you peel it off, and you don't need to keep it if you don't want to. So we wanted this to just be a nice something nice to engage with. But then you pull out your deck, and then the deck goes back in here. You can put it back in this box if you want, but it also goes just fine with the dice in there and the cards. And this is the strong box that will keep it well protected. So let's get into the cards themselves. Sure. So we've got Solar Sentinels right here in front of us. I don't know I don't know what you want to say about the cards. To be totally honest.
Well, so we did the riffle deck first with PVC, and that was our first foray into like some pretty technical foiling on cards. And so on top of that, we've added some metallic inks as well. So foiling is like on a whole different. It's a stamping process, and it needs its own plates and whatnot. And then you have your metallic inks that are also a different process than what you're going to be doing with your typical CMYK. So it was a doozy of a thing to figure out all of the different layers and how we needed to send those files, how we needed to trap, and just all the pre-press that goes into this. There's a lot. So from that aspect, I was really impressed with how these came out. The thickness is maintained to our typical thickness of card. The metallic inks was a little bit more of a subtle effect than maybe we were expecting, but it actually is kind of doing what I had hoped it would do, where you don't always notice it until the card is in a specific light, and then there's just a matte finish to those foil, the metallic ink parts of the card, and then the foil really jumps out. So there's a lot of different things going on here, but they look really, really cool.
Yeah. To be clear, the metallic ink is different than the actual foil. The
correct.
Metallic inks are they kind of put just a nice little sheen on. I think we mostly used it on text.
We thought it would be a little bit more shiny than it was, but on PVC it has a little bit different effect. So like a metallic that is in this rule book you'll notice has more of a shine to it. But that's okay because the foil is also shiny. So again, we didn't want to overwhelm these cards with all of these effects. We wanted it to be a lot more subtle, and so you could still read and play the game. But I think they did a really good job of mixing the two. So ultimately, I've been very impressed with the colors and the techniques that we've kind of tried to include in all of the cards.
And I don't know what you want to switch to the top-down camera.
Yeah,
Santoro. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how much of the foil is coming through, but I'm trying to kind of show on the backs of these what.
If you want to get it slightly closer, you can put it in the dice tray.
Oh, slightly on a dice tray. I'm trying to like move it so that maybe.
Are you?
I am a little bit, yeah.
Show some of the foil names too.
Yeah, so there's a couple different parts. On like different decks, we chose different things to foil, and that's one of the things we do need to address. With like the TMB deck, there were some names that got missed, and we're not sure if that was they're in the file. So we just got to make sure that was that's something that is consistently correct and whatnot. So, but again, for a first prototype, I was extremely impressed with everything that came in.
Yeah, you're going to notice the foil a lot more on Solar Sentinels than you're going to notice it on the other decks. Again, that is because we legitimately built everything about Solar Sentinels from the ground up
with foil in mind.
So from the art style with the black and white to the splashes of color, everything about that one was meant to highlight the foil. It's much more subtle on the Hoplo and Bones decks. And then, working on Tanglewoods is kind of being brought again from the ground up to incorporate some of that foiling as well. But we'll have more to say about Tanglewoods in a little, not on this stream, but in the relatively near future.
Do you want to mention dice quick? Because we only have 2 samples of that right now.
Yeah, so again, these we took pictures of these. This was 2 updates ago,
right.
And I'll throw these into this dice tray so that. So again, they do have a little bit, and I'm going to move them back and forth. I don't know, the sparkle that's inside of these is probably not coming through on camera at all.
Well, and it won't because the color will be changing. This was just a color that they picked to show the example of the process. It will be much easier to see when they get the right inlay colors.
Yep. So the inlay for the embossing is going to be white on the colored dice, and then on the gray, The embossed inlay is going to be it's going to depend on what type of die it is. So
health, strategy, or recovery.
Yes,
will
correct.
match
So
those colors.
The color will be slightly different on each to accommodate the stat that you are tracking. Yeah. So just a couple things we can talk. There were a few questions in the comments before I tackle the questions that are coming through in the chat. A few questions in the comments that I haven't had a chance to get to this morning yet, simply because I just got here. So questions about, well, why didn't you do a PVC box on these decks? A couple different reasons. We kind of addressed one of them. One of them is just we wanted to make them foil as well and embossed and look just a little bit nicer and fancier. One other reason is that those PVC deck boxes do wear out. The hinge on the tops of them does eventually wear out, and we see those snapping off for some customers sometimes. And so that was part of it. Part of it is a cost thing. This game, we are targeting a different audience than our big box things. We've been clear and consistent about that since the day that it launched. And we want this game to have a strong retail push as well moving forward. And to do that, there are just some things we can't do from a cost perspective. We have to keep things within a certain range. There's already PVC cards in here. You've already got double box going on.
Yeah, someone mentioned that they wanted that telescoping box, and it exists. This is we've got this one to carry your dice and any one of these decks.
And then the other thing is just like there's this is not a shallow game by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I would argue we're working very, very hard to give it tremendous depth and replayability. That said, there's a difference, right? Like this is meant to be a travel game that you could maybe play on an airplane, that you could maybe play in your hotel room, that kind of thing. And it's not the 4-hour epic that something like Too Many Bones, Cloudspire, Burn Cycle, Elder Scrolls, etc. is. And so, we have worked really hard to give it a beautiful production and, the foiling and all of that kind of thing and the embossing and et cetera, et cetera. But there is a line where at some point, the production greatly exceeds what we're actually presenting from a gameplay perspective. And we want to keep that in mind with a product that's as different from the rest of our catalog as this is. So that's just to answer that proactively. That's kind of where we're at with this thing. But also, these are really nice boxes. Like they really feel great. So I don't think anyone, once you have it in your hand, I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed with these. We're thrilled with them personally. So
and don't play this on an airplane.
Don't even with this.
No. You know how little those trays are. Like.
Well, I fly first class everywhere I go.
Right.
So don't you?
You don't.
I've never flown first class in my life, for the record. I have no idea. Are the trays bigger in first class?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Don't play this on an airplane. Fine.
I'm just saying.
I think you should try it.
Two things as you head into the next section. It is the question time of this, so ask questions into this channel.
Yes, ask questions here. Ask questions in YouTube. Don't ask them on Discord. Okay. The I've talked about this before. The decentralization of communication and around fandom.
Here we go.
Has made my job very difficult in recent years. And if you care about me at all, I would like you to ask your questions in the YouTube chat. That would mean a lot to me.
Make them ask their questions elsewhere.
All right.
Let's tackle a couple. Do any of the decks utilize the chips, day, night, or dice symbol functionality?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You may recall that a chip was one of the, and actually this tray too. You may be looking at this tray and being like, that's weird how that's packaged, and we might even agree with you. It was a stretch goal that we added kind of like late in the game, simply because the campaign was doing, again, better than we expected. We say that all the time. You may never believe us. That's fine. But we made a chip. I think it was the final stretch goal, was it not? And we had the gameplay for all three of these decks largely already locked and loaded by the time we even launched the campaign, which means that we unlocked this chip, and we will have the chip in the magnetic tracker. We believe, by the way, next week sometime.
That's the hope.
I think we've heard the 15th. I don't know if that means it's arriving here on the 15th or if that means it's shipping out of China on the 15th for us to react to.
The chip.
Regardless, yeah. So that's coming, and we do want to show that off. But yeah, so actually, that is much more of a future-proofing mechanical thing that we're looking at it for to. It's capable of doing a whole lot of things. You mentioned the day-night thing. We've got the iconography on there. It's a counter, etc. Our goal really was to make it really open-ended so that future decks can have just a little bit more design space to play with. So in these, it's very. It will almost be. I think the Victorum deck's the only deck that even uses the chip to move around, and then the TMB. I think it's only for the day tracker in that game. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Let's see. Do the deck boxes have room for expansions and or promos? They have, like any deck box, you've got room for probably a couple cards. We're not planning on doing expansions for any of these decks.
No, it would be a different deck entirely at that
So
point.
you may see another Too Many Bones deck that would perhaps use many of the same mechanics as this Too Many Bones deck, but we would probably do an Undertow deck. So then we'd wrap Mech and Kreln into it or something. We may do an Unbreakable deck where you have none of these are in development, by the way. I just always have to preface any talk of future content with that. None of these are going that direction, but the idea is that these decks truly are one-off experiences.
Right.
There's not going to be crazy expansions for any of these specific decks. So, okay. Tanglewoods will be released next year. What about the choose the next deck stretch goal? What would be the estimated timeline for it in terms of a Cloudspire, Burn Cycle, Dungeon Crawler decks? Are you willing to pull the curtain back at all on that question?
I mean, you mean other than Tanglewoods? Or
yes. Other than...
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
We're not at liberty to answer that question at this exact moment.
There's some really good ideas, and there are partial decks that have already been developed in, some of our other spaces, but also some brand new things. And I'm excited about it. The system is holding up really, really well within all of these. That was a big question I had initially, was like, could it handle, or does it start to feel the same with just a new skin? And so far, at least, it doesn't. It does not feel the same. Like, there's obviously the similarities that are intentional, kind of holding the whole theme, and the fact that you have these 20 dice to utilize, that remains the same. But there are a lot of differences between these. So
and I think,
yes, there are decks I would love to talk about right now, but not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
That's actually a decent segue into the next question, which, in terms of at least what my answer I think would be. But what was the biggest surprise you had during playtesting? I think just how well the system morphed and evolved across all three decks, and how really, truly unique each of these three decks, each of these initial decks. And then again, we have Tanglewoods like being developed behind the scenes already. And that also feels very different from any of these three decks. So just how flexible a seemingly very, very elementary dice system and rule set has been able to become, I think it has been my biggest surprise. I don't know if you have a different answer for that question at all.
I would say, flexible in the way that, like, when we said, well, we really need to do a TMB deck, or we really need to, Victorum's kind of a ripe one for this system. Maybe just the but let's not force it was maybe my gut, or what was in the back of my head. But then the proposals started coming in, and they were really compelling. And so that was encouraging. I was like, okay, well, the system has some legs then. So it seems to be able to take a lot of these different themes and kind of like accept them in ways that you believe right away, where it's not this stretch of like, oh, they kind of had to really work to get that in there. And I would attribute that to the people in our development department who are coming up with these as well. That's their work, but the system is definitely helping that process too.
Yeah.
So,
and I would piggybacking on that, I would also just say when we had our content creator weekends for the Elder Scrolls, and we were demoing both 20 Strong and the Elder Scrolls for a lot of major content creators, everybody was really, really into and excited about the Elder Scrolls. They loved it. They loved it. They also loved this, and I would say the enthusiasm for this matched the enthusiasm for the Elder Scrolls for almost all of them. Like, everybody was really, really excited about this product, and they were just really, really excited about it. So that wasn't really necessarily play testing at that point. We weren't like monitoring their win-loss rate when they were being demoed. The game, it was still in a prototype phase well before this phase right here. But that was just, I don't know. That surprised me. So, just because obviously the depth and weight of the two games is massively, massively different.
Yeah, I remember having Solar Sentinels out at Essen and at the table, but the backdrop was test because, that's what we had. We had this little corner that we were demoing and giving reviewers a little first access and whatnot. But I was testing this in the downtimes, and there was a lot of people that would just keep coming up and interested by the cards, the layout, the art, all of that. Like, had to keep reminding, this is not Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
This is not Elder Scrolls.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely a lot of interest there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. What's your favorite card and or deck in 20 Strong so far, and why? I have only played Solar Sentinels thus far. I have watched playthroughs of the other two decks. So I'm probably a bad person to ask this question. I would say I'm most intrigued by, I was and shout out to our developer Salem, who has been on camera several times. You know them. I was really I just loved the visual of the volcano setup in Hoplo, and how movement around the world, similar to Victorum, was kind of incorporated into such a simple system. That was, and also, if you know my personal development and design bias, I design and develop to make things as hard as possible.
Yeah.
And the Hoplo deck has been the most difficult to win, I believe, thus far in all of our testing. And so that's the one I'm most personally excited by. But it's also I've seen Gearlock art for days and Baddie art for days. The Hoplo art still feels pretty fresh and new, and to see it blown up on large cards from a visual perspective, that's been really exciting too, just because people don't even realize the amount of detail that Federico and Anthony are putting into each of these pieces, because they go on these tiny little chips. So I don't know, that's my personal answer to that question.
For me, it would. I mean, I started with Solar Sentinels, so I have a lot of attachment to that. I would say it's one of the bosses, maybe the Swarm Lord, because it brings out a lot of additional enemies, and I love that puzzle of what order and what damage sequencing do I have to work through here to pull this off. So they're probably the most
Swarm Lord. Let's put it in the dice tray so people can observe the Swarm Lord.
Yep. They're interesting to me.
Cool. Is the playtime for each deck very similar? Yes. Yep.
I would say so.
They each vary a little bit, but yes, generally speaking, all three of them can pretty easily be completed in an hour if you're taking your time, and faster than that if you know the game well and you're moving quickly.
We say 30 to 40 minutes on both.
Yeah. Yep.
These.
Yep. And that's not, again, it's a solo game, so the amount of time it takes can vary dramatically, because certain people like to sit there and chew on every single decision, and you're kind of min-maxing the whole experience. Other people, and you play while you watch TV or whatever, other people like to move through it, and both are viable. But 30 to 40 minutes is very, very possible on all three of these decks. That's not our typical CTG optimistic playtime that we might put on some of our boxes.
Correct.
Let's see. You decided not to sell the expansion separately to help Solar Sentinels succeed, but will be able to buy a base set of dice with TMB or Victorum and skip Solar Sentinels in the future. Not likely.
I'm so hurt by that.
Do you disagree with me?
No, by the question.
Oh, yeah.
Skip Solar Sentinels?
It's not to help Solar Sentinels. It's not that we are like trying to force this new IP into existence, and we're talking about how to handle Tanglewoods. We've said before. I'm happy. I'll announce it formally right now. But we are planning. We're planning to run a campaign for 20 Strong Tanglewoods next summer. Is the plan. So and we'll have much more. We have several announcements about kind of the next 3 campaigns actually coming very, very, very soon. You may have seen a new channel on our Discord today with a weird name. I don't know what that's about. That might be an error for all I know.
Probably.
Yeah, it's probably a mistake. I hope it didn't come across as like, oh yeah, we're trying to force everybody to get into this alien slaying Sun Warrior game. Like, no, that's not really what it's about. The Solar Sentinels remains, and I think by a fairly wide margin, like this is the best. I hesitate to even call it vanilla because it's not vanilla. It's very interesting. There's a lot of cool things going on, but it is the most vanilla 20 strong experience, and that is what you want in a base game. So for learning, teaching the system, for again showing off the foil on the cards, everything about Solar Sentinels is doing all of those things the best, and it also doesn't. There's been people who have, been complaining about the art of Too Many Bones for years. There's been people who, who don't, whatever, like think Hoplo's too dice driven, whatever. We didn't want to make the base game in any capacity reliant on
that's a good way of putting it.
A theoretical knowledge or expectation attached to any of our existing franchises. So yeah, it's the best way to play this game and learn this game from a base experience, and that is why it is the pack-in. It wasn't cheaper for us to do it that way, by the way. It was much more expensive to develop all this art, all of Chris's beautiful art. It took a long time. There's unique art on every card, unique foiling on every single card. So this was actually the most difficult route we could have taken to get this released. It was way, way easier to blow up art that we were already using on chips and on baddies and throw that on cards, by the way. So no, will you ever see anything from Solar Sentinels in other capacities in the future? I don't know, but I hope nobody feels like, oh, this is them trying to force their new IP on us. That's not the goal here at all.
To the other part of that question, we definitely, it's been a discussion that's happened multiple times with regard to, do we just in the future provide a set of dice that is apart from Solar Sentinels so that you could pick up that dice set and pick up any deck? Again, that will probably be forever debated internally on what is the best way to go there. But yeah, I think right now it makes the most sense to package it with, because it's odd for me personally to sell a game that isn't like a complete thing. So it either you have a deck that you hope they realize they need dice for, or you have a set of dice that need a deck to play it. So I want there to be a complete product, and that was kind of the decision that we made, at least for right now. Tanglewoods, again, we'll decide.
We're still in conversation about how to handle all of that. We pitched this to you. We pitched this to you, backers, as you buy the base, and then we're going to just release decks for it. And those decks, interact with everything you need is right here. And again, with this game kind of targeting a different market, with us wanting to put this game into retail, at least at FLGS, in a hopefully significant and beneficial way, to set you kind of need to sell a base game to people and then have that all make sense to them. And so parting out everything from dice to decks to cards to the counter to all that kind of thing just starts to get more confusing and harder for us to market. And anyway, that's kind of I hope that makes sense. I hope that answer makes sense. Okay. Will an upgraded storage solution be offered later down the line? Will there be a Trove chest for 20 strong? Always Trove chests. Yes. People with your Trove chests.
No, I think in the future, we've talked a lot about how we want to allow people to store these on their shelves, and how these decks could potentially fit into some kind of holder. All of that we knew right away was probably a future question we need to answer, either with Tanglewood's campaign or beyond that. Mm-hmm. So yes, there will be some storage solution options that are coming out with a future campaign. This is not meant to be an end-all be-all thing, especially this box here. This was more a packaging thing for the bundle of 3 decks that we were offering on the campaign, versus having them just loosely thrown in. We thought that we could go a step further and kind of complete that and shrink wrap it and just keep it that much more protected. So that was the reason for this. But
we're already having conversations about, are we gonna print? Other than what we're fulfilling to backers, are we even going to print more of these? Because it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Do we need a cover for it? We don't know. But yeah, right now it's kind of a superfluous.
If you ever needed proof that sometimes stretch goals are not fully planned and not fully baked in, this is maybe
right there.
This right here is maybe the prime example of that. Yeah. Okay. Will you make Solar Sentinel stickers, and can you give them the foil treatment? We need to get back to curios in general.
Yes, we do.
I would not say we will make Solar Sentinel stickers, but that would be cool. That'd be cool. And if we did, we would obviously try to give them the foil treatment. Yes, of course. What did I miss? Oh, are there any duplicate cards in any of the decks, or is each card completely unique? There are a handful of repeats.
Solar? No.
Not in Solar, but in one. I'm trying to remember which one. Is it Hoplo or Victorum? And Victorum, I think. Sorry, say that again?
There's just literally not enough enemies in Victorum.
Oh, yeah. We just needed a lot of enemies in Victorum for you to fight, so there's a handful that got reused. But that's also the largest set of cards out of these initial decks.
Right.
So you're still getting a ton of unique art. And again, that was a gameplay function. More than us like being lazy or anything.
Yeah.
Like we just needed that in to make the
the so no forward. For bones, no for solar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one was on there twice. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All good. Any plans on getting alloy dice for 20 strong? Maybe. Will these decks be able to be mixed and matched? I don't know what that means. From like, you're not going to be able to take a Solar Sentinel's alien and fight it in too many bones.
Correct.
But we do have the Universal Heroes, of which these Tanglewoods ones, which I can take out. And we, again, some of the things on here, some of the foiling is not quite it's not quite there yet. But we do have these Tanglewoods Universal Heroes. There's slide them down a little bit, like this way. Okay. So we do have these 3 Tanglewoods Universal Heroes. And so again, the idea is that most decks, maybe all, but most decks will come with a Universal Hero. And that hero can be used in other decks. But as a whole, no, you're not going to be mixing and matching everything from these decks or anything like that. They are meant to kind of be distilled. Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? They're meant to be what they are. Self-contained. There it is. Thank you. Self-contained. Yes. Okay, because the board layouts for each variation are so different, is there any discussion of doing a set of mats specific to the different decks? We try to make a small thing. We try to make a cheap thing for you.
I like the way they think. I like the way they think. To
not violate your wallet repeatedly throughout the year, and yet, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We discussed a mat, like during potentially the Tanglewood campaign. I don't know if it will make it onto the campaign. Again, there are some times where we'll do mats because we want that nice aesthetic, and we think a mat would do a good job of that. But I truly don't. We don't want stuff that doesn't make sense. and that is an honest statement. Like, I know that people would buy it, but if it's not,
we
like if
should
the
do
play
Too
area,
Many Bones brass mags.
No, dude,
Have you ever
don't.
thought about that? Have you ever thought about that? We should do those.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we should.
They would make the game better.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. But that's one case where we should consider it. One case.
Okay.
So with this mat, yeah, like the question states it. Like there is so much, so many different ways of these cards are going to come out on the table that the play area just becomes just a big space. So it's kind of like it's a mat.
And once you release, once you release an accessory for something, like you're kind of bound by the restraints of what that accessory. So like, if we wanted to do a version of this game that went really, really tall for some reason, but we had released a playmat that was only, yay tall, suddenly that becomes a problem. So we want to be careful also just
Build
about
a house of cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 20 strong, the dexterity game.
Right.
PVC would work great for that.
It would.
We want to be careful not to accidentally restrict future design because we were too eager to sell a mat. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There again, somebody asked about alloy dice. We're looking at all of that kind of thing for the Tanglewoods campaign next year, and we'll see what we end up with. No promises on any of it, but we're looking at all of it. We just want to be careful. That's all. Yep. Any plan of displaying estimated difficulty on newer decks, especially if some more are to be released? Generally speaking, these are supposed to have difficulty levels, and the base difficulty level is supposed to be roughly within the same kind of general realm. Maybe complexity ratings, because I do think that complexity stands to potentially grow as the amount of decks continues to grow. But no plans for that, at least at the moment, because we haven't really hit that yet. Are you showing new gasket art?
No. Well, yes, no. But I was just, this is the difficulty range.
Oh, okay. So we've got, what do we got? We've got prepared, daring, seasoned, heroic, and legendary.
I don't know if the names are consistent throughout each of the decks, but they each have.
Yeah. Sadly, there's no greenhorn. Sadly, there's no greenhorn in the Too Many Bones.
Stop flaunting our mistakes in front of me.
If you're not aware, a quick bit of CTG history. The original release of Too Many Bones, the base difficulty level,
it was an innocent
was labeled greenhorn. And what was the, I think the medium one, what was it, like wimp?
I don't know.
Wimp
no,
difficulty?
No, it wasn't.
Terrible player difficulty?
It wasn't that bad.
The two lowest difficulty levels, though, which we have rebranded since, had names that essentially implied that you weren't very good.
You really sucked. Yeah.
And so people were getting the game and they were jumping into whatever it was, heroic difficulty level, which was the hardest difficulty level that we had for Bones.
Because they didn't want to be labeled.
Right, and they were getting their butt handed to them. And they're like, well, I'm not a greenhorn, but this is impossible.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should have gone to that in here.
We should have.
As a wink.
A nice little head nod.
Legacy fans. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 5 difficulty levels in the Bones deck alone. Again, the Solar Sentinels, I believe, is similar, and it involves how many missions you need to tackle. And I don't know that we had, in playtesting, I don't know that we had anyone pass the hardest difficulty level. Like it's meant to really be tough, and you got to get some lucky rolls alongside it and everything. So again, we tried to bake as much replayability into each of these decks as possible, but the base level of them is all relatively within the same realm. Even if I mentioned earlier that Victorum had the lowest win rate, I think of
Right.
Okay. Is 20 Strong going to potentially have a quicker release cycle for new products due to the nature of the components and the more confined rules environment? Yes. In fact, we had talked, had we gotten the foiling and everything and the art done a little bit faster for this, we were even considering running Tanglewoods 20 Strong this year already. That's how far along it is.
Yep.
There's a ton of art that we have been holding on to and haven't been showing you behind the scenes. It's coming along very, very well. We're really excited about it, and yes, it will absolutely have a faster release cadence. And I don't know that we with Tanglewoods, we really want to lean into the fact that we're working with Manny, which has been great.
Yeah.
And we want to tap the potential of, the audience that just loves Manny's art as well. So a campaign makes a ton of sense for that.
Yep.
I don't know. This running a Tanglewoods campaign is not an indication that every 20 strong deck release moving forward will have a campaign attached to it.
In fact, it won't.
Yeah.
It just won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will be able to release these outside of campaigns.
We're so excited about this product, though, that we do want to give it a follow-up campaign.
Yep.
Generally speaking, a well-received game will do better on a subsequent follow-up campaign, and we expect this is going to be tremendously well-received.
Yeah. So
then with the power of Manny, the power of Trembly. Trembly before the power of Manny. Sorry. We expect that the Tanglewoods campaign is going to be a banger, for lack of a better word. So
there you go.
Are you open to introduce other companies' games as a module, just like Jamie Stegmaier does with Rolling Realms? I would say nothing is off the table. And again, that is not an announcement. I mentioned in a previous stream that Andrew Chesney, our Chief Operations Officer, really wants us to talk to Awaken Realms about doing like a Nemesis deck and that kind of thing. Again, none of that is happening. None of that is happening. None of those conversations have even been had. I mean it. I'm not winking at you. I will wink if I'm winking at you. Okay, that's your cue that I'm winking, is that I wink. But I would say nothing's off the table. Again, like as long as the mechanics are interesting and the financials of any arrangement would make sense, we're very open to many possibilities. So yeah, I would say nothing's off the table. I would say nothing's off the table at all. The tug box is big enough to accommodate sleeved cards. These are PVC cards, and we are assuming that you are not going to sleeve them. Now, I know there's a handful of people out there who like wrapping their plastic in plastic. We get it. We stack our neoprene on top of neoprene, so like component inception is a thing. I get it, but no. Point blank, no. These will not accommodate sleeved cards. I not even penny sleeves, I don't think. But that's why they're PVC cards, because we are telling you, don't sleeve them. You really don't need to. We swear, you really don't need to. You'll have a better time if you don't. That's just... I know you're going to disagree with me, whoever asked that question, but that's just the facts. All right. Will you, by any chance, be visiting Essen Spiel 23 in... Oh, there's Essen. It's in the second half of the question. And have a few copies of 20 Strong with you. We will hopefully be selling 20 Strong
in mass
strongly at Essen this year. It should be out. It should be fulfilled. Barring any major issues. Again, we feel really, really good about where this is at. We're very close to being able to push the big green production button. This next week or two, we will be able to start kind of getting timelines more crystallized for all of you. The lack of timelines that I gave or didn't give or whatever in the update last night was really just a matter of we are very close to having a very concrete timeline on all this stuff, and I didn't want to speculate anything until we're just again a week or two further along, and we should be able to tell you kind of exactly what's happening. So all right, what would be the approximate retail price for additional decks in the campaign? The base game is $30 and complete is $65, so about $20 each. Yep. Yep.
Correct.
You nailed it. Good math. I don't often like customers' math that they do, because sometimes it's a little weird, but that is pretty much exactly right. Now, if we come out with a deck that would ever need like an additional component for some reason, or had a absolutely massive amount of cards, that was more significant than this, chance it could go up to like 25. But yeah, the $20 price point is kind of what we've been targeting this whole time for expansion decks. Nice clean number. Doesn't feel like we're nickeling and diming you, and we can still get pretty good profit margins out of that. So yep, absolutely. All right, so that is the end of the 20 strong questions that I'm seeing. So I'm
Yeah, I
going to
think
jump
so.
into a few of these other non-20 strong questions before we pass it over. And we should. You want to take the shrink wrap off of this?
Sure.
We should unbox this baby. A couple of non-20 strong questions that I just want to tackle. Do you have any updates to share on translated versions of French and German backers? I don't. Oh, I assume that must be a 20 strong question. I assume because those are the only two languages that we're doing.
Yeah. I think so.
As soon as we have the foil worked out, all the French and German is all translated already. The French and German versions are going to use the exact same dice, and they will go on the presses as soon as the English print run is done. So I hesitate to give any like concrete timelines on that specifically, but it should be pretty quick after the English version. And again, because this is all cards and all molded dice, the print of this manufacturing and packing, because it's so simple, is going to go really fast. So things are well in hand. We have the translated files already, and we're just waiting to get this foil business figured out so that we don't get foiled again. Boom. All right. My TMB attack and fence dice are worn out from too much play. All in caps. Nice pun. Like it. Any chance you'll come out with an updated dice expansion for TMB? No, but we will replace those for you if you contact support. Any expected date when all the Unbreakable stuff gets shipped to the ones who pre-ordered via the website? No anticipated date at this time. We are just trying to get through crowdfunding fulfillment as fast as we possibly can. It's going well. We are, I think, a little bit over halfway in the United States. We have Canada. We're getting ready to send the last two things that they need from here. Otherwise, they are about ready to go. We got our inventory from VFI Asia yesterday, and they are ready to start fulfilling fairly imminently. Aetherworks has their stock of Unbreakable stuff. We are just awaiting word on when they are going to begin shipping. So everything is like well in hand with Unbreakable. It's just it's 15,000 orders plus, and it's taking a while. And again, we've had to stagger the containers.
And again, we would probably, this is about when we would have been able to start fulfillment.
Correct.
At previous fulfillment locations.
Yeah. So had we been fulfilling this out of Quartermaster, again, generally speaking, once the containers arrive, they sit for a few weeks until they're kind of taken in and inventoried and then staged and et cetera, et cetera. So even though the total fulfillment of like actual packing boxes and that kind of thing is taking longer on Unbreakable than maybe previous projects, we were able to start a full month in advance, which is tremendous. And that's why, a lot of you already have your pledges, which is great. So, no expected date specifically. We're expecting to sell Unbreakable like at Gen Con and so on and so forth. So we're, that's August. That's early August. Hopefully we'll be all done fulfilling
both.
Both by the time we have by the time Gen Con rolls around. So there was a question that popped up and then it disappeared.
They took it back.
They got answered. Okay. I think it was about Pledge Manager closing. Again, read your update from last night, but we are closing the Pledge Manager for 20 Strong at the end of this month. Finalize your pledges, your addresses, that kind of thing. If you're going to convince anybody else to go in on it, now is the last days of the 20 Strong Pledge Manager. And then any plans for another run of Trove chest upgrade packs? We're getting asked that a lot.
Yeah, we are.
We are going to have about 150 remaining once this project is fulfilled. We are looking at demand to see if we need to do another print run. We're going to see how fast that remaining overstock sells out once Unbreakable is fulfilled. And we will see, again, because it's a limited audience, we ran into the similar issue with Cloudspire upgrade packs or update packs from first to second print run. These mostly only apply to people who have the first edition of the Trove chest, which is a set limited number of people. So let me say as clearly as I can say it, and we'll do an update and we'll do promotion of this if and when they become available. But as clearly as I can possibly say it, when you see these go up for pre-order or order it right away, please. Pre-order it right away, please, because there are minimum print quantities we need to hit. And if we miss 15 of you, we cannot afford to do like a print run of 30 of these in the future. Like we have to have a critical mass. So yeah, we're looking at that. Please keep telling us you want it. Please again, when the overstock does go up for sale, please buy it immediately. And if we sell out immediately, that's a pretty clear signal to us. Like, hey, we got to make more of these, and people want them. So yep. All right, let's show off Aprilus real quick, and then we are going to take a short break while Shannon and Andrew get ready to show off some Solar Sentinels gameplay for you all.
Nice.
But so here is where should I put this, Andrew?
I'm getting those out of the way.
Oh, is there? Oh, will you sell Riffle at Gen Con? I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I haven't looked at where the counter is at recently either. But
we should. We'll look at the counter, see who and how many have been figuring that out.
It used to be. So the other thing is that it used to be that people would just come and buy all the things from us at Gen Con, and it was because we were like this like novel new kid on the block. Now that like we have free shipping on our website over a certain amount, now that we've run a ton of campaigns, it is the more promo stuff that tends to sell much better for us at Gen Con. So in general, we're looking at bringing more promo unique stuff to Gen Con in general. So we'll see about that. I'm not promising it, but we'll see what happens. So okay, so Aprilus and the Fool. This was our April Fool's joke this year. Our April Fool's jokes have gotten less and less.
These are candy, actually.
Oh.
Just eat them.
Yeah, amazing. So we have shown off the box before, but we didn't have a final. We are about to get sued in the biggest of ways. So we've got your reference cards here for these characters. As a hero and a Primus, similar to what you would see in the rule book for any of the other. Oh, you're okay. There you go. There you go. We've got your thick chips. We've got, I believe this is a Bane.
This one.
Oh, here's the Bane. Yeah, here's the Bane. Got a new Bane, and you got your reference cards, and you got your hero deck as well. So if I recall, kind of the hook of fighting Qualmus is that he's a fool, right? So you want I believe you want a build that kind of emphasizes a lot of yellow dice, a lot of low odds dice, which is kind of Qualmus's hook, if I remember right. I haven't checked in on this Scion specifically since development kind of began on it, but that was how it was pitched to me. So there you go. But these will begin fulfillment in the coming weeks. But we do have the final total production versions of these two. I believe on the pre-order we kind of said Q3 on these, and we are about to enter Q3 once we hit July. So and that is accurate. We should be on pace to start fulfilling relatively quickly in the very near future. So there you go. That is Aprilus and the Fool, the little mini expansion. I believe we'll probably have these at Gen Con too to sell alongside of Victorum. We've got some more Hoplo announcements coming soon. Like I said, I added a new weird channel on our Discord this morning. There's a lot more cool stuff coming from CTG in the near future, as if there hadn't been enough recently anyway. So thanks for tuning into this Q&A. Stay tuned. We've got gameplay of Solar Sentinels, a near final version of the cards anyway of Solar Sentinels that you're going to get to see. This is at least gameplay complete, mechanically complete, rule set complete. So everything you see from a gameplay perspective on this version of Solar Sentinels is exactly what you will see in the final version. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks. And
stay tuned for some very exciting gameplay. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Oh, we're not quite ready yet, but there is a poll in the chat. Feel free to vote for which character you would like. There is not enough poll options to list everybody, so if you want one of those other 3, vote for another one, and we'll do another poll to do that one. We'll be back soon. We're back. Hello. Can you hear us? Make sure to let us know if our sound is good, just so we know that you can hear our dulcet tones.
If you can hear him, hopefully you can also hear me.
Yeah, I actually programmed the microphone to only hear my voice.
Oh, that is pretty rude.
Yeah,
but I have been away in Canada, so I understand.
Yeah, it doesn't pick up your accent.
It's really nice to be back, though. And I'm excited to play Solar Sentinels with you today. We're gonna co-op it. Hopefully, between the two of us, we have a functioning brain.
I mean, I've got coffee here to help with that part.
I don't, because I dumped mine all over a table earlier. Luckily, all the components were CGG components, and I didn't damage anything.
So it's good. It's actually good for it now. It's better that you did that. There's a poll in the chat. It will be up for, I don't know, not very much longer, to decide who we're playing as. Currently, Valkyrie is winning, but there's other options. So if you want one of those other options, make your voice heard. Valkyrie's this robot fellow. Do we want to go over these real quick?
Go over all of them?
Sure. Give me.
Sure.
Do a fun little. Let's go to the dice tray cam. So
Dice tray
right
cam.
here.
So that's Valkyrie. Valkyrie gives you like a setup bonus where you get to increase stats of your choice, which is nice. It's very simple to play because then you don't have to worry about an ongoing ability, but it's very strong. Yeah, I can't read that from here.
Stellar Blade is old.
Lets you. I can't read the ability. I don't have them memorized.
Stellar Blade Isolde has the ability Green Energy. Before each exhaust dice step, choose any die color except for green. And then for each commitment die of that color, return a committed green.
Cool.
So you get some extra green dice
All
because
right.
she loves the environment.
And then we have Beckett Sunforger with Matter Reshaper.
Mm-hmm.
And that says every time you use a single-use card, then you get to heal or recover dice, which is nice.
Heal for 2 or recover 2. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then Galahad with the Auto Javelin. Before each exhaust dice step, you can return up to 2 committed crits,
Sure.
which is nice. Get back some dice.
Is the javelin part of the cool motorcycle?
Obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't attach an
Guess
auto
that-
javelin to their motorcycle?
It does. Do you think it's just a regular javelin that he put on his auto?
I see what you did there.
Like whenever I get in a car, I'm an Auto Andrew.
You know, Ryan is clever enough. That might have been an intentional play on words. And then Pikemaster Orlo has solar flares, which lets you change misses on the yellow dice, which are the most likely to roll misses. You can change those into hits if you are gonna apply it to a level 2 enemy.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it says Pike is an acronym there. P-I-K-E. Do we?
I have no idea.
Ryan, if you're in the chat, you do know.
Naming things isn't my forte. Making sure they work is.
So I think it stands for person in cool equipment. And they just misspelled cool.
Well, it's way cooler if you spell cool with a K.
That's true, just like Mortal Kombat.
And then we have Astral Scout Raven with X-ray binoculars. During game setup, you can swap the positions of 2 mission cards, which we'll be looking at when we finish setup. And then also at the start of each round, you can cycle your cards so you have more control over what enemies you're going to be facing.
All right. I'm going to close the poll. So unless it desperately changed quickly.
Nope.
All right, so Valkyrie
Mach 7.
is the winner. Everyone just likes they're good. They're just good fella.
Indeed. All right, so Valkyrie has adaptive armor. So when we select Valkyrie, we can increase our stat dice by up to 2. My recommendation would be maybe to increase our recovery and our what's it called, strategy each by 1.
I think health.
Health?
No.
No.
Health isn't important in this game. Just
Health
like in
is
Bones,
really
you
important.
want to go for the lowest health possible.
Health is super important, but it's also it's the easiest to increase in other ways.
True.
What do you want to do?
I mean, personally, my favorite stat is recovery because you get the dice back, and the game is about rolling the dice. So for sure, at least a point into recovery.
Okay.
Strategy is how many times you get to roll the dice, which is also pretty good, considering.
And it's how many items you can hold as well.
That's true. I always forget.
So it has dual purpose.
And the way my brain remembers this is bad because I've played the Bones deck the most, and the Bones deck works very differently from this one. But yeah, I would say rerolls is good.
All right.
Especially in this one.
We're starting with stats of 333, which is pretty darn good. Hopefully we don't screw it up.
That's good too, because if we ever get a thing that says we have to do something about our lowest stat, then we get to choose.
That is correct.
It's all evens.
Yeah.
Ryan is in the chat.
Ryan is in the chat.
Pike is an acronym, but you can all speculate on what it's an acronym for. That means
Ryan designed an inside joke into the game. Inside only to him.
Yep.
I did want to show, I don't know if they showed it in the video, we've kind of got them off camera, but the back of each of the rule books is the player aid for the game. So you got your flow of the round here, and then just a reminder on what all the icons mean on the main rule book. So
neat.
We've got that.
All right, so we've gotten our hero set up. It looks like we've got 3 stacks of some sort of ghoulie.
Yeah, and those will be face up, but I just didn't want to like overwhelm with information. We have to pick missions.
Sure.
We do in the rulebook recommend the very first time you play the game to play without missions. And then probably not choose Raven as your hero because Raven, part of their ability has to do with missions.
But if it's your first time and you want a challenge, but not a mission kind
it
of
just
challenge.
takes out an aspect of the game so that you can digest it. But the missions are a part of the game and a huge part of the difficulty ranking. You get more missions the higher you go up in difficulty. And I don't know if we've shown them off a whole lot. But the way the missions work is you get dealt 4 in order. I'll try and do this in a way that they can all kind of be seen in the space we have.
Yeah, I don't think we've shown missions at all, like in any way, because when I did all of the videos for this campaign, in the tiny window in which I did all the videos for this campaign.
Well, missions also morphed a lot over playtesting, so the way that they work is a lot different than they were during the campaign.
Okay.
So you have to complete your missions from left to right. During setup, we can choose one of these missions to take out, and then we'll have 3 missions to complete.
Sure.
You'll work on the one that's leftmost. Once you complete it, you get rid of it, and you go to the next one.
Neat.
If we go to fight the boss and we still have any missions incomplete, then we have to add an enemy to the boss fight for every incomplete mission we have. So it makes the enemy harder to not complete missions.
And is the leftmost determined by how you just dealt it?
Yeah,
or
so I
do you
dealt
get
them
to
left
choose
to
one?
right.
Okay.
You don't get to rearrange them, although that is what Raven, that was one of the abilities Raven had, which was to swap
okay.
2. So first thing, never surrender. Activate 3 or more enemies in a single activation.
Okay.
The second one, end a round with exactly 1 health.
Seems miserable.
Dark side of the moon. 5 strong. Apply all 5 dice colors to a single enemy.
Seems doable.
And then bait the trap. Suffer at least 1 damage in 3 separate engagements.
That's something we would utilize the chip for?
Exactly. So the chip is on the counter side for this specific deck, and when we're tracking something like that, we would use the chip. I feel pretty good about 5 strong and bait the trap.
Yep.
I think we should get rid of one of these.
I agree.
I don't love going down to 1 health, but I also don't love having to fight 3 or more enemies, but it's probably going to happen anyways, so...
Yeah, can you explain what activating enemies means?
Sure. So there's going to be... I'll flip these up now that we have them. Enemies here. Just flip the whole deck over.
Oh.
Yeah.
But what if I'm done? I don't want to do that.
So at the start of every round, we're going to have to activate 1 enemy by default, but some of the enemies have plus enemies here. These ones all do, and that's how many extra enemies we will also have to activate.
Okay. So technically,
if we chose this one, we could get that like right away. So let's just do that. Let's get rid of Dark Side of the Moon because I don't want to go down to 1 health.
Agreed.
So these are our 3 missions. We can't start working on these 2 until we complete this one.
Yep. Question.
Yes.
If we, for instance, we are going to activate 3 enemies right off the bat, is that going to go away and then we can start activating these? Or is it per engagement?
So once we complete this one, then it goes away and we move to the next one.
All right. And how do we get to our end state? Because I believe there's these nasty looking boss bugs here, these red-backed fellas.
Yeah, so we have our 3 stacks, which we're going to be dwindling down both by defeating enemies, and then also at the end of every day, we get to discard 1 off of the top of any stack.
Sure.
Once at least 1 of these stacks is run out, we can go after the boss at any point that we choose after that, and if all 3 run out, then we have to go after the boss.
Cool.
So a little bit like that Too Many Bones aspect where there's a minimum threshold before you can go fight the enemy, but there is some choice on when you actually go to do it.
Okay.
Depending on how strong you are.
And then
20 strong.
Ooh, we are 20 strong. And yeah, these colors have changed a bit since you've last seen them. So there's a red that has 6 hit faces and 1 critical hit.
Yeah, so
it's the best dice.
The dice are stickered and a little misaligned, but these are the design of the faces.
These are not the dice that you will be receiving. These ones over there are.
Yeah, we've changed the color palette so that it goes in proper color order: yellow, green, blue, purple, red.
Mhm.
And then you can see the notches on the faces of the borders, which tells you how many hits there are on each of the dice. And every die has one crit, and then the rest of the hits are normal hits. In all 3 of the decks currently designed, a crit deals 2 damage, but there's nothing to say that will be true in every deck we ever design.
Yeah. We might have crits do 15 damage in a future one. Who knows?
Seems like poor balance.
Yep. A hot little tip too, right off the bat, is the red die should always be re-rolled unless you have rolled a crit. Unless you don't want a crit.
Unless you have
that's my
another
hot
card
tip.
that's like affecting things, yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so we're set up.
Getting into it.
We're ready to go.
And then our stats are represented here.
Mhm.
They change and go up. And they have already. So yeah.
Absolutely. So if we go down to 0 health, we'll lose the game. And
What?
if we
Oh, this is like golf.
Nope. Okay, so we have the activation stage first.
Sure.
So we have to activate, choose one of these, and then
think-
because they have plus enemies, we'll have to activate more.
I feel like we're at our strongest right now because we have not rolled any dice.
We have lots of dice. Yes.
The Slaughter Man,
Mhm.
or Slaughter Maw,
Mm-hmm.
it would get rid of our first mission.
So here's my
That'd be
concern
cool.
about that.
Everything else also adds enemies. Is that what you're gonna?
Yeah, we don't know what's under here, and if it's another plus, we might end up with 4. And the Slaughter Maw, although we can get rid of, has a during effect that says only 1 enemy can be defeated in each applied dice step. We'll get 3 applied dice steps
Yep.
because we have a recovery of 3.
So we might just. Not
But if we
be
ended
able-
up with 4 enemies, and we'd have, although it is only a 2/2, so that's not that bad.
Oh yeah. This is their health, the little blood
yeah.
drop. This is how much damage they're gonna deal to us if we're not
If we
able
don't
to
defeat
defeat
it.
them.
And
So their
then
abilities plus enemies, and then a reward. I assume?
yeah, and then so iconography's sake, the little location icon means it's a during, and a during effect is like an ongoing thing that's in effect until you defeat it.
Okay.
So a lot of them have things that impact the entire battle, and you need to take them out to be able to get by it. The little arrows is an after, so after effects happen in the resolve stage.
Okay.
And then there's another one that is
Not represented here at the moment.
specials,
Yeah.
which have their own.
So I think you're saying we should grab, because technically, so this guy's
If we
gonna
grab
add
this,
an enemy.
this, and then whatever else.
Yeah,
then
so we're gonna get 3 anyways.
that one is 6 health.
That's awful.
And if it's not defeated, we have to banish the strongest die in our dice pool. Although we would just make sure a red die is not in the dice pool if we chose that. But
Yes.
for each die you commit, you must commit all dice from a dice pool of the same color.
Sure.
I feel like we go
That
with
seems
this one.
fine,
That one
yeah.
seems all right. And then because it has a plus, we have to add one
Another
more. A max of 5 dice can be committed this engagement.
I hate that.
That
I hate it.
that's awful.
I think
although-
we take the flesh locust.
Okay.
Then we can get our mission cleared.
Okay, flesh locust.
Green cannot be committed.
Green
on the
cannot
Lost
be
Sentinel,
committed
right?
on the Lost Sentinel.
This is one of the one of our fellow comrades who was lost and became part bug. Looks like. Oh. I think that guy seems fine, right?
Yeah, sure.
At least better
Sure.
than a maximum of 5 dice, which seems like we would not at all be able to finish this at all.
All right, so that is activation. We just activated 3 or more enemies in a single
Yeah.
activation, so we completed our first mission.
So now we rip that card up and we throw it in the garbage can.
Our
Mission
next
complete.
mission now is to apply all 5 dice colors to a single enemy,
So we can't
which
do
we
that.
can't do right now because we can't
because
commit
green.
greens.
All right, yeah.
Okay, So now we're in the engagement phase, or the engagement step. We have the strategy phase, which is commit dice, which is choosing how many dice we want to throw in to the fray. And remembering that when we commit a color, we have to commit all of that color. So red, definitely.
Yeah.
We need to defeat
A lot.
a lot. What else do you want to put in?
I hope it's just the screen. Here, let me give you a close up on a card. They're not particularly super hard to read.
No, from here I can read
Here,
everything
let me do a
pretty well.
quick zoom. And we'll get. Yeah, so we've got the wool shield there. Let me focus this hard. There we go. So there's all your iconographies. I don't know if that helps or is worse, but yeah, they're pretty legible in person. All right, so yeah, we for sure want to commit the red die.
Do we want to commit all of our purples?
That's the 5 hits. I don't think it's a bad idea. And if we commit one, we have to commit them all, right?
I feel like because we have 3 strategy steps, we'll have 2 more chances to commit more dice.
Correct.
So we don't have to, like, we could try and take out the one that's making us do that, and then
Yeah. And
commit.
also, if we can take this fella out, we
Yeah.
can start committing green, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Important to note is that if you are able to apply enough hits to end an enemy, their during effects are not happening anymore because they have been murdered
Right.
or dispelled or are we squashing the bugs? What's up? We're probably not defeating them like in Bones.
Yeah. Why don't we roll this for now and just see
Sure.
how far we get? And
No, is it lucky me?
it's you.
All right.
All right,
4
roll lots of
misses.
crits, all the crits.
Got 1 crit.
Okay.
All hits, which is all on me. These are the hardest dice to hit with.
So we can
certainly
now
commit the crit.
apply these dice to enemies.
Yep. We don't have to.
We don't have to. If we don't apply them in the next strategy phase, we're going to have to re-roll anything we didn't put on. So it's not like we can just keep these as hits. If we don't put them on, we have to re-roll them. They could turn into misses. There is 1 miss on each of these purples.
Yep. Yeah,
we
also,
could
these
do-
will be exhausted at the end of this phase. So
Yeah.
that's why you can't be like, oh, I rolled enough hits. I'm going to put these ones I don't want to apply back.
So we could do 3 and 3, but probably we want to, if we're not worried about this ability, then we can re-roll all these and add some more dice to the mix.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that fella's ability for the next.
I'd
for
almost
next
rather
round.
defeat this and
Really?
keep it with not being able to roll greens.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my vote.
Sure.
that
I'll
one's-
take your sage advice.
All right, that one's defeated, and this one does have an instant reward, which is
Okay.
awesome. So we get to increase
Up a
our
recovery
our strategy.
strategy.
So now we have a whole nother strategy phase.
Do we turn them sideways when they've been?
Yeah, just as a visual that they're out of commission.
It's like in like a western where the legs just go up in the air. Oh my god.
All right, so we are back to the start of the strategy phase. We get as many strategy phases as our strategy stat.
And that goes up as we get more with those instants, right? So we still have 3 left.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
So we have this is still committed,
Mhm.
and we can add more dice to that as long as they're not green. We still need to do 9 damage.
We've got 3 dice. It's impossible on those. Do you want to commit blues?
Maybe like 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've still got
This
two more.
This is
two
my
more after
classic
this.
20 strong strategy. Just grab dice at random. So folks that are coming up, this guy's gonna let us recover 2 dice. That's gonna be nice because we're only going to recover 3 currently.
This one will let us increase our recovery, which is also awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure to defeat that guy.
All right. Well,
As
we
I
need
said
to defeat
before,
all of them.
I love recovery. It's the best.
Did you roll real good?
That's a critty boy right there.
Ooh.
Oh, I should show my roll. Forgive me, I'm once again here with the stream. So looks like we rolled 3 crits. Set those here.
Apologies if the yellow dice results aren't showing up super great on camera. The dice themselves look a lot easier to read.
Yeah, these are these are not the real dice. These are stickered dice. We'll have real ones somewhat soon. So 3 misses, 2 regular hits, 3 crits though, which is quite exciting. So these are our fellas to go up. So how do we want to distribute? For sure want to kill this guy, right?
No, it takes 3.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this purple on there.
Sure.
It has a miss on it. I'd rather avoid that.
Yeah, and then we can apply these there. Oh, that was we can apply those there.
This fella's so this would wait until the end of the apply, right? So we would have to decide if we wanted to apply this before this.
No, as soon as you apply enough misses, it's defeated. We get our instant, so we can
either get 1 recovery or
it's an and/or, so we can take both.
Oh,
yeah.
Discard a non-mandatory enemy. Can you explain a mandatory enemy from the top
I
of the stack?
I'm gonna. Normally you can't go through these stacks, but I kind of have to show you one. The mandatory enemies are these orange ones. Essentially, the way that they work is if they're on top of the stack, you have to choose them when you're choosing enemies. And then when you're choosing enemies to discard at the end of the round, you can't discard the mandatory enemies. So. Cool. There are ways to get around fighting them, but mostly you're going to have to face the mandatory enemies.
Got it. I mean, I personally don't like the idea of having to add 2 enemies to an encounter.
Yeah, I'm cool with getting rid of the slaughter maw.
Cool.
All right, gone. And increase our recovery
up to 4.
All right, and then we have these to get 2 more hits. I feel like we shouldn't add any more dice to this.
Let me see. To a single enemy. We could try and clear that last mission. We could put the red here. Can you commit overkill on anything?
Yeah,
we could put that there. We could add a green and hope to hit with this yellow. I don't know if it's worth it, but we would clear 2 missions in the first round.
I don't think it's worth it.
Okay. Then we shouldn't reroll this.
I think we already overcommitted.
Or shouldn't.
Because we still have 2 more recoveries. We did a classic overcommittal here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Who got this? All right, so not committing more. We still have 2 rerolls, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. So, oh yeah.
You're good at rolling.
Oh, that's another crit. I'm good at rolling yellows. So. Yeah, that's dead. We got again, yes, classic overcommittal. Here are our exhausted fellers. We'll set those over here somehow. Let's see. Let's get like a weird stripe going down the side, maybe. Oh boy, my hands are twitchy. Too much coffee. So these are all. We did it.
Yeah, we did. We get to increase our recovery. It's also like not that common that you would have 3 enemies that all increase your stats right off the bat. We got pretty lucky there.
Yeah.
All right, so suffer damage. There's no damage to suffer because everything is defeated.
Yep, normally we would take this damage for each enemy remaining.
There is an after effect, and you would resolve after effects on enemies even if they're defeated, except for this one specifically, something that triggers if not defeated. Then we exhaust the dice, which we just did, and then we get to recover dice. We get to recover 4 dice.
Should we probably take our red back, I feel like.
Definitely.
Where do we throw those?
They're
a little buggy graveyard?
In the discard, yeah.
So we got 1 red for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 3 more dice we can get.
I would probably just take 3 purples for this one. I always like to make sure there's at least one of every color in our dice pool.
Well, that leaves us with enough to complete the mission still if we have one
Exactly. All right. And then at the end of the day, even if we hadn't defeated everything, they go away in this deck. That's not the same in every deck.
Yeah.
And then we get to discard 1 non-mandatory enemy from the stacks that we don't want to deal with.
Okay. So it has an after, right?
Yep. If red or purple are applied to any enemies, discard the top card from all 3 stacks, which can be good and can be bad. You could end up having to throw out rewards that you really wanted,
good enough.
which can suck, but this one says a max of 5 dice can be committed this engagement, which isn't bad on its own. It sucks when it gets combined with a lot of enemies, but we wouldn't be forced into that. This one says in the roll dice step, misses from previous strategy phases are not rerolled. That does kind of suck.
But you get to recover 2 dice as a reward.
You get to recover 2 dice, which is great. This one lets us recover all the blues, and we have 3 in there.
I kind of like that guy.
Plus, it's a single use, so you don't have to use it right away. Single use becomes an item.
Plus, it's hard to say its name, so that's fun. I would get rid of the spore seeds personally. I mean...
Yeah, mostly because I'm not excited about its ability that much. Like, we would get to see what our boss is, which is great, but there are other cards that'll let us do that too.
Yeah.
All right, we revealed a spider pus.
Yes. Is it a spider pus or a spider pus? Like an octopus, but it's a spider too.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, or like a cookie puss, or a sugar puss.
Oh boy. All right. Special. When defeated, if not the first enemy defeated this engagement, discard the top 2 cards from the leftmost stack. Okay. Which would suck if we didn't put our mess of maggots out with it, because then we would be losing our recover all blues.
Yeah.
All right. What do we want to do?
I mean, I want to end up fighting the meso maggots.
Okay.
So I want a bottle of water. And it looks like we can make the top card discard off all the stacks if we want.
Well, do we want to just do that then?
I guess, yeah.
All right, let's fight this mesomagnets.
Mesomagnets.
All right. So 3 health.
Sure.
And if we apply red or purple, we'll discard the top card from all 3 stacks, which will get rid of this mandatory.
So we can force it. We would lose the opportunity at Space Sushi, which seems quite good. You get to roll exhausted dice and recover the hits.
We'll also lose the ongoing in the roll dice step re-rolling unapplied hits from previous strategy phases is optional, which can be nice depending. It's not necessarily like super. It can be good depending on the boss, and it could be good in certain situations, but it's not the worst thing to lose out on.
Okay.
So let's just do that then, I guess. I think we should roll the blue because we can get it back when we
drink
recover.
that bottle of water.
And then I think we should roll the red.
The red's good.
Now the question is, do we, with 5 rolls, think we can get 3 hits on this?
Just on 2 dice. You want to? Ooh.
Well, because I'm trying to optimize getting back
choice.
as many dice as possible. If we,
you've seen me roll some crits here.
With this combined with our recovery, we can get back. We can have all of our dice back.
Okay.
If we don't roll anything else, but rolling 3 on 2 dice is not that easy. But we have 5 rolls to do it.
5 rolls.
Let's try it. We can always add another die if we get to like roll number 4 and you rolled all misses.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, you just.
Why do we need 5 rolls?
Oh gosh. All right.
Too easy.
So
up the difficulty.
Defeated.
All right, and we did apply a red.
We did.
So we discard all these fellas.
Yep. Gone.
Right. These go exhausted.
They do. We get this as an as an item. I don't know where you want to keep our items. That's out of frame, but...
Oh, yeah. They're holding the bottle of water.
Oh, good call.
This is how it was designed. It's
All
not
right.
something I just came up with right now.
And then we get
Maybe.
4 dice back for recovery, so let's take all of our non-blues.
Sure. That's a smart move.
And then it's the question of, do we want to drink our bottle of water right now?
Yeah, when can you use items? Just sort of whenever?
You can use them whenever. The only time you can't use items is when you're rolling dice, essentially. Because there are some cards that are like, after rolling the dice, take this damage from all the misses, and you can't like change those dice rolls before resolving that roll dice step.
So once engagement has begun, we're kind of locked in.
Yep. Okay. So we can do that bottled water now if we want, though.
Okay. I don't think we're ever going to have more blue dice that can be recovered. Is there a module that adds blue dice to your pool? Yum, yum, yum. I feel so refreshed.
Drinking our water. All right.
Fiji, Dasani, whatever. Space Dasani.
Okay.
I mean, bottled water would be pretty good if you're on the moon.
I hope so.
Like, you probably don't come across
unless it's
it
like
that
filtered
often.
from really like bad water.
It's like made from
like...
rocks or something.
Okay, and we always get to discard something off the top.
Yes.
We can't discard the mandatory.
Sure.
So drone alone 3. Dice can only be applied to enemies.
Very funny, Ryan. Good job. I assume that's you.
Dice can only be applied to enemies if a die of the same color is in the exhausted area. That sucks because we just left ourselves nothing in the exhausted area.
That's true.
But once per engagement, you can change 2 misses of the same color to hits. That's a really good.
Yeah.
That's a really good ongoing that we're giving up. It's almost like we planned it so that the really good ongoings are on enemies that suck to defeat.
Yep. Huh. Wow. That team really needs to work on that. You should make it really easy.
All right, what do you want to defeat or get rid of?
I wish they had Dronalone 2, Lost in New York. That's my personal favorite. I don't like skipping the recover dice step.
Yeah, that also sucks.
I don't like the way that fellow looks either. He does only have 4 health, and we would get 2 health for defeating.
Yep. We also get 2 health from this one, though. And it's mandatory, so we're going to have to pick it.
Count the total number of applied dice, or discard that many cards from the tops of any stacks.
Ooh, so we can use...
Yeah, so ultimately I don't think it matters that much because of that.
Yeah.
You change 2 misses. I mean, we can keep this around just in case you want to try for the...
Let's get rid of this one then. And then... back to activating an enemy, and we have to activate the Bee Seeker.
Enthralled corpse. That's a cute little wordplay there. That's good. Good job. Good job, everybody. Okay. The Seeker. He's over here seeking some bees. And then we're going to have to count the total number of applied dice after we beat it and discard that many cards from the top of any stacks, one at a time. So that's pretty cool. Or bad, I don't know. How do you feel about discarding through a bunch of stuff? Our stats are looking pretty...
Our stats are pretty good, but we've got like no items whatsoever.
Oh, also we have 2 missions left. We should work on that.
That's true.
Oh boy, yeah. Okay. So
if we tried to apply
5.
like one of each color to this one, then leave some of them in our exhausted area so that we can do this one and actually defeat it. I don't know.
No, we're thinking with brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that, right? I mean, 5 dice should be enough to roll 4 hits.
I would think so.
That's what math says. So let's see.
The yellow one's going to be hard to get a hit on, though. But we'll see. We've got 5 rolls.
Have you seen me? Well, never mind. It's hard to get hits on even, I suppose.
Did your luck run out?
Well, see for yourself. Those are some.
Okay.
So, do we just want to go a full straight reroll on that? Do you want to apply that purple? And the red should be.
Well, we might as well apply the red if we're trying for hits on all of them. We're gonna defeat it anyways.
I suppose. So 2 hits on the Beseeker.
Mm-hmm.
Going to roll 2 of 5. Sure, we got 1 blue hit.
Great.
Roll 3 of 5. I assume we're just going. Not make. No. Okay.
Okay. Do we want to add another yellow at least? Because the thing is, if we get a hit on the green, then we either defeat it and we have to stop rolling anyways, or
Yeah.
let's throw another yellow. At least one more yellow in there. You've got 2 more rolls left?
Yes,
Okay.
that was roll 3. Sure. Okay, there's a yellow hit.
But if you apply that, then we're done.
Oh no!
Because you didn't get a hit on
My
the green.
hubris. And the okay.
Do you want to add another green in there too?
Oh, sure.
Let's just do it.
Oh boy.
All right, last roll. You gotta get this. There you
Oh
go.
man.
There you go.
That-
Overkill to the backs.
Man, that bug is paced on the ground. That is a total of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage to it.
Definitely dead.
Cool.
All
All right,
right.
so we accomplished that mission.
Yeah. So as an instant, we get +2 health.
Heck yeah, up to
Completed
5.
our mission, and we
We did
applied
apply.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have to apply all 7. If we apply all 7, then we discard 7 cards.
How are you feeling about discarding 7 cards? Are crits 2 hits technically?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's just one really good hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just do the 5 and not apply
Okay.
these. And then that way
Okay.
we're getting rid of 5
whatever.
cards instead of 7.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, we're speedrunning the deck. All right. So we got our 2 health. So we get to discard 5. And then do we also get to discard 1 for the regular beating a thing? So total of 6, pretty much?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
All right.
And-
So let's just make some quick decisions. I don't feel like we need this crater fly.
Sure.
So 1.
It's a reward that does nothing.
It changes if you don't defeat it. It changes its reward,
Oh.
but it does like 4 damage, so it really sucks.
like
I think
that.
we get rid of that.
So 4 dice can be consumed this engagement. I don't like anything that makes it set only limited amount of dice can be consumed.
So that's 3 gone.
That has 8 health.
Yeah, but it's got a
just
huge
eating
recovery,
through
but
one
it
stack.
sucks. Let's get rid of that too.
Okay. And I assume we cannot get through mandatories with that ability off that fella.
Discard that. Yeah, you can discard mandatories. It doesn't say you can't,
Oh.
so you can.
Oh, might as well, right? Plus 5 health.
And crits can't be applied.
Oh, so that minuses a die face off all our dice too. That's
Get
kind
rid
of
of it.
miserable. Yeah, get rid of that. I do like the reward.
All right, so that was 5
was
from
our
that
5.
card, and now the 1
So-
because at the end of the round, so it can't be this mandatory.
Okay.
We've been wanting to keep the drone alone
Mm-hmm.
because we want it.
So yeah, get that. Oh,
and then-
uh-oh.
What we didn't do was our recovery phase. We skipped
Nah, we
that.
don't need to do that.
So we get back 4 dice.
We're too good at the game. We
if
decided
we're-
to just skip it.
If we were wanting to fight drone alone, then we want to keep some things exhausted, ideally.
We still want to take the
But-
red because that's not going to
Yes.
matter for that.
I don't, because we have 2 mandatories, it might be a while before we see drone alone.
Yeah, how does it work when multiple mandatories are exposed?
You have to choose one, and then
Okay.
if we chose this one, it requires another one, and then you have to, so you just
Yeah.
have to choose.
But since they're both showing, we would not have to choose this.
Correct, we
and then
could
pull
choose
in.
that one.
Okay.
I think we should just take back, like,
A green.
that.
We could take a yellow back too. Because
No, because we took back red. We only have 4 we can take back.
yeah, but I'm saying we could take a yellow back, leave that blue in there. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I forgot we're not really tangling with that drone one anytime soon.
All right,
Okay.
let's do that.
Total War Spore. Roll 3 weakest dice committed this engagement. If you roll at least 2 hits, banish a purple. I hate that.
Yeah, that sucks.
3 weakest.
But it's either that
okay.
one or this one and probably this one. Unless there's a mandatory under there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. Each enemy can have only 1 dice color applied to them. Yeah, that's the worst. We should definitely not
So we
do
have to
that
do
one.
total. Let's do Total War Spire then.
Total War Spore. But if we beat it, we get the Scorched Moon policy.
Which is awesome.
It says -1 recovery when gained at the end of each strategy phase. Return all committed misses. Interesting. Okay.
All right. So we need to do 5 damage. We want to roll ideally kind of weak dice because we want to.
We want at least
We wanna
3 really
roll-
weak dice.
We're gonna roll 2 hits and have to banish a purple. That's probably what's gonna happen. But
Let's make sure we commit these 3, right?
okay.
Because then those are the
Yep.
3 weakest.
Yep.
We want 5 hits
We need
ideally.
5 hits.
Probably commit the red. Yeah.
I mean, we've got 5 rerolls. Let's see how far we get with that.
Okay. You love the risky rolls.
You've been rolling so many crits.
It's true. It's bad. You should roll the after, right?
Like,
Okay,
look at
that's
that.
a yellow crit. See, the
Yeah.
yellow seems to crit a lot, but it's a 50-50 on that one if it crits or if it doesn't, so it's not actually that impressive. Okay, so we have 2 hits on it. We could put this red on it if we wanted.
I think we can keep rolling it. We could add another die, but I think we can keep going.
Yeah, I think I believe it will be weighted. Is that?
The
Yeah,
chip,
'cause
it's
a
the same.
magnetize.
It's the same weight as our normal chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually announced in the last update too. There is the little counter here that's going to come with 20 strong.
That's not the exact design of it.
It's not the exact design, but
it's the same
Yeah,
idea.
it's so that the chip can magnetize. So there is going to be a metal slug in there, so that
Yeah.
you can spin it all easy and nice and good. Also, we could probably keep it over here because I think it's mostly going to be in a close-up and not used that often for this one specifically. So that was 1 roll. We used that 1 hit. So roll 2. Roll the green hat.
Yeah, let's keep that.
Roll 3. Still
Yeah,
just looking for 2 hits. Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be good. Okay. Roll 4.
Let's add a die.
Yep.
What do you want to add?
That's What do you
Well,
think?
purple's getting banished anyways. We might as well get some use out of it first.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go.
Wow. Exactly 1 crit and 2 miss. A miss on a purple.
Miss on a purple.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay. So we have hit it for 5.
Yep. So we defeat it, but we still have to do the after effect.
So that's roll
Roll the 3
so these are all going to be
weakest.
exhausted, but these were committed. So these are our 3 weakest. We're going to go back to the die camera. Come on. Miss. Okay. Yeah. 1 hit.
Wow,
says
you did it. So we don't
roll.
have to banish a purple.
Yeah. I'm good at being bad.
Fantastic. And then we get this as an item.
Nice. So we immediately reduce
Scorched
our
Moon policy.
recovery to 3.
Yes.
And then starting later is when so basically this time we wouldn't have recovered our misses.
At the end of each strategy phase, return all committed misses.
Kept track of what were misses if it was active right now.
Well, we wouldn't get the card until after, so we couldn't have used it this turn
Okay, cool.
because the strategy phase ends and then you do other steps and then you get your items.
Cool. So we get 3 back.
Indeed.
We
So
know we're gonna have
red.
to take that too. So we should have as many colors as possible, I think.
So take back red, purple, and yellow.
Sure. That seems correct.
All right.
All right. Okay. And then we get to discard 1.
Yep. Drone alone or the hurdle. I love the hurdle. Hurdle. Keratin supplement. Exhaust
Sure.
2 committed blue misses to set your recovery to 3 and or recover 3 dice. So good if you've got recovery under 3.
Yeah.
So I feel like we can get rid of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Our recovery's at 3. Plus. 3 plus.
Yep.
Kind of. All right. So then we have to take the Parablite.
Yes, we do.
And that's going to make us take something else. And
Yep.
well, they're mandatories. So,
Also of note that our last mission is to suffer at least 1 damage in 3 separate engagements. So we do need to strategically figure out when we want to not defeat
hits.
things so that we
Yeah.
can take hits.
probably not this round. 'Cause this while this is only doing 1, everything else here does 3, 2, 2.
Yeah.
I don't feel super comfortable taking 3 or 4. So
Dice can only be applied. That sucks right now because we only have yellow and blue and green. So drone alone's not a good thing to take. This says items can't be used. We don't have any items right now. So
Yep.
that's not that bad.
much like the film Home Alone 3.
So I think we go after the decaying
Oh, look at
mantis.
All right. And then for items cannot be used, this is going to be after that guy's dead, right? Or I guess if we take the hit, it won't be. But so this would not be affected by that.
It is an item, so it is affected. But if we defeat it, then the drawing turns off.
Cool.
Okay.
Each enemy can only have 1 die color applied to them total. Ooh.
Yeah, so we probably want to
Nothing's
defeat
gonna
that,
happen. Yeah.
or else we have to get like five hits from a single color, which is just not realistic. So we need to get 3 hits from a single color. So do we want to just roll all of our purples? Or do we want to you
Oh, okay. I was reading that wrong. I thought I read you have 1 of each color.
No.
Okay, so yes, that makes sense. So we could hit this for 3, and then we would get the stun gun, and we could immediately use it to just discard that fella.
We can't because items can't be used.
Oh shucks.
And we wouldn't immediately get it. And
Oh,
we don't get it until
shucks.
later.
Well, never mind.
So no, we can't do
ignore
it
me.
that way.
Ignore me. Purples?
Purples. Yeah,
Just
roll
3
all of our
then?
purples. Well, we need to get 3 hits. So
That's
sure.
5 out of 6.
Sure.
Boop. Yeah. We good. Let's let me see here. So we go this game. All right, so we had 2 regular hits and a crit. We could do this, right?
Yep.
That restriction's no longer there.
Correct. And
And we
then
could apply that
we
there.
could apply that there, which probably we should. Or we could keep rolling it.
We could keep rolling it. It does have 5 out of 6 hits, so it's very likely it's going to keep rolling hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's re-roll that one. Why
Let's
apply it?
re-roll it. All right, we
We
need to
ain't
get
no
5
cowards.
hits.
We ain't no greenhorns or wimps or whatever the other one was. So are the difficulties on Solar Sentinels Wimpy Baby, slightly less Wimpy Baby, Tough Baby.
The difficulties are
Give the difficulties to the camera.
give the
We're on the front
difficulties to the
facer.
camera.
It's here.
So we have Solar Soldier, and then ranking 2 is Solar Specialist,
Sure.
then Solar Sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you get a promotion from that, you're Solar Staff Sergeant.
Okay.
And then ranking 5 makes you a Solar Sentinel.
That's the name of the game. Then you can point at yourself in the mirror.
And if you
Like
get all the
the
way up to
Leo thing.
6, you're
Uh-huh.
a Senior Solar Sentinel.
Senior Solar.
Solar Sentinel.
Nice.
If you do that, you are completing 8 missions. And for every rank you have, you also have to like banish dice or start with them exhausted. So it's really hard to win
Yeah.
at that level.
I think we should have gone for the Senior Solar Specialist because we got crit, hit there. So that's 5 right there.
All right.
So let's just apply those 5 hits of damage to that fella.
Fantastic. Defeated.
Okay.
All right. So,
Oh, this was a miss.
which means that we will get it back at the end of each strategy phase, which is now the end of the strategy phase.
Ah, we could have been getting this as back, and I guess that's just how it goes. All right, so this is killed. We get a stun gun.
Yes, we do.
I'll put that.
And we get an amputator.
The Amputator. Banish 2 dice from your dice pool to immediately defeat 1 enemy. Banishing, unlike exhausting, means they go away forever. So I don't necessarily love it, but it's pretty good if we have to. And then we get 3 recovery. What do you want?
Definitely want that back.
Okay.
And then it's a matter of, do we just take our strongest, or do we want more diversity over here?
Well, we're up to Adrenaline, right?
Dice
Like
can only
we
be applied.
could theoretically take it on.
Oh yeah, because we got lots of yeah, let's do this then.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And
So
then
we
we
get
get to discard.
To discard something. When this enemy is defeated, you may immediately defeat 1 other level 1 or level 2.
I like that.
+1 in the roll dice step. Change all rolled hits to misses except reds because there's no misses on it.
Boo.
And all rolled misses to single hits.
Yay. Exhaust 3 commanded misses to immediately oh, it's a good reward.
I think we should finally do our drone alone.
Sure.
Oh no, wait, we have to get rid of something.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
You want to get rid of the Swarm Achillite?
Sure.
Yeah. Because the Gutterfly is a good addition to any encounter. Skip the recovered dice step left.
Alright, let's fight our drone alone 3.
Sure. Alright.
Okay, so
6 health.
we can't use our red this time.
Mm-hmm.
We could roll it technically, but we can't apply it to anything, so there's no point in rolling it. We need to get 6 hits.
It makes me feel warm inside. So
I
just want to go for 3 crits. It really save on the recovery. Yeah, sure. That seems accurate, right? I'll just go crit, and a miss. So we can. Oh, it's 4 hits. Apply none and just keep re-rolling. Is that okay?
I don't know. Up to you. I chose the dice. You choose how to use them.
Yeah, we don't care.
One.
We don't care about no hits. We want crits. Okay.
Roll number 2.
So there's 1 crit we're gonna apply.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So we got. That was 2. This was roll 3. Might have been a little hasty.
I'm gonna have to add more
roll
dice.
4.
Oh boy.
Okay. Crit. Hit.
Hit. That's enough.
Yeah, I was actually really smart with what I did. So we don't get any back from our special thing.
Nope.
Because we don't have any misses.
So those are exhausted. And then we get to recover 3 dice. 3 purples. My vote.
Sure. And normal. So our item limit is huge. So
yes.
That was our 5th item. I'm going to put it there as the most sightly of them.
And then we get to get rid of something.
See our other items. So many items were stacked.
One of those is an ongoing. We should probably.
It's this one that I'm hiding. 2 of them are actually.
Yeah. Okay. What do we want to discard?
Well, I like the Gutterfly sticking around. Honestly, these are all fine because I feel like
I think we can
just
take a
hit. Yeah. So Slaying Mantis maybe because it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Because they're all just going to do 1 damage.
Oh, journal 1 2. Ryan said if we got this one, we have to read the name of the item.
Ooh,
cheese pizza.
Nice hot cheese pizza. Pizza. That's Tim Curry. What a guy. So I think we're taking the Swarm Apostle, right? I'm just gonna take a hit from it.
Yeah. So essentially we're taking it, but then we're not applying any dice.
Yep.
And we're gonna have to skip the recovery dice.
This was dumb. We should have done the exact opposite thing that we just did. So we're dumb. What we should have done is take the other one because we're still going to take 1 damage, and we could have recovered dice and not committed any dice.
Yep, but we're committed to this now.
Yep, we're dumb. So we take 1. That's that. So we're going to track it on this. So 1.
We're tracking our mission, and then our health we have to go down by 1 because we're taking this damage.
Ow.
We still have to do the after effect. We
Just
don't
skip recover.
get this, and
We
then
don't
this
get the reward.
goes away.
Yeah.
And we get to discard something.
Oh, we still get to do that.
Yes.
Okay. You suffered any damage in this engagement. Suffer damage to add.
Drone Alone 2 kind of sucks, but it has the cheese pizza's nice, but hopefully we don't need.
Drone Alone 2 is the better film. You get to see New York.
I don't know if I agree,
Kevin
but
gets
I'm
to go
not
to the
like
toy
I don't feel
store.
strongly about it.
The bandits are surely killed by most of the things he inflicts on them. Start of each round, +1 health if you have 3 or fewer. That's a nice cheese pizza that you get to just carry around with you. Yeah, let's drop it because we also just can't sort of take it and take a 2-hit with for our mission. So I don't like it for that reason. I also don't like
the
that.
Deceitl.
It's a beetle that deceives you. Banishes all misses in the active area. I hate that. So we should definitely discard that when we get the chance. So we could take the...
But that's if we're not... Oh, we don't want to take 2 hits. Recover all of your dice would be really... If we fight the Gutterfly and ignore it...
Yeah.
And then we can take this for actual recovery, and this stack's getting depleted enough that we might be able to go into like an enemy fight with all of our dice.
Yeah.
If we can do that after.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So I say we do the Gutterfly and then we just ignore it.
Incorrect, Ryan. Bad take. Drone Alone 1 is good. 2 is where it's at though. Go to New York. They go to a toy store.
It does not take much to make you think a film's a masterpiece, if that's the criteria.
No, it's just a better movie.
All right, let's fight this. Let's fight, but not fight this Gutterfly.
I will say that the scary old person who turns out to be nice in Drone Alone 2 is not as intriguing as in Drone Alone 1. The Shovel Man's good. I like him. All right, so Gutterfly. We're just gonna take that hit. Yeah.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
gonna take the hit.
We just like hanging
Our
out.
mission
with this
up
Gutterfly.
to
Mission up to 2. And we do get a recover step this time.
Yes, we do. So we get back 3 dice.
You probably want the purple.
I think so. And a blue and a yellow just in case.
Sure. I
Sure.
like the varietals. All right. Then we get to discard.
Yes, we do.
I hate the Deceitl.
Okay, let's get
I
rid of it
don't
then.
like banishing misses.
Oh, now we have enthralled king.
A max of 3 dice. Oh boy.
We have to fight it
What if we just
because
don't,
it's the
though?
only mandatory, and it adds someone else.
Sure.
And if we choose one of these 2, then they also bring a friend to the party.
I don't like the gutter die either.
This says a max of 3 dice can be committed in the engagement. When defeated, if this is the first enemy defeated this engagement, put it back on top of the stack, which sucks.
Max of 3 dice. So we could.
So you want to defeat something else and then this, except for you can only be committing 3 dice.
We could put this fella in.
And defeat it, and then I think that's what we have to do. But then we're also gonna have to bring in another friend. And this one, Berserker, a max of 2 dice can be applied to the enemies in each apply dice step, which isn't too bad because we have tons of apply dice steps but this is 8 health and this brings another enemy, so I feel like we kind of have to go Berserker here. Berserker.
If we take that pile's gone. What does that mean again?
We can go after the boss whenever we want now.
Okay.
Do we have any items? I feel like we have an item. We could banish 2 dice and just get rid of something here if we really wanted. Or we could save that for the boss fight. I like saving that for the boss fight.
Yeah, that's true. Once per engagement, you may change 2 misses of the same dice color to a single hit. That is one of our ongoings that we have.
We could have gone gutter die, which requires a lot of hits, but let's just recover all of our dice.
Yeah, we should get it eventually.
All right.
But another thing here, a max of 2 dice can be applied to enemies. There's Also, in each roll dice step, -1 health for every 2 misses rolled.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know
Probably
if you
should've read
caught
that.
that one.
But we want to defeat.
We want that guy gone
hopefully
first.
So let's just roll the things that have the best chance of not missing. We can only commit 3 dice.
Okay.
And we
Well,
want to try
a
and
max
defeat
of
this
2
with
dice
it.
can be applied.
Oh wait, we have red.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should do a red probably. So we want to do 3?
Should we? Yeah.
Could be real cute and just do 2 and hope for a crit. The us way. That's 2 hits.
Well, that was terrible.
That's 1 miss, so we don't trigger the minus health. We can apply something in each apply dice step, so we could
we should
apply
apply-
this. Yes.
Yeah, and then reroll both of those.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't roll 2 misses, so we're good there.
Yup. And that's a crit. Okay, so we got a crit that we can apply.
So we can apply that to here, and then that turns off the misses thing. Plus, now this won't be the first one defeated. It can be our second one defeated.
Neat.
And
All right.
now we don't have the 3 dice limitation, but we have the 2 dice limitation.
Which means we might want to apply that over here if it's the max of 2, because this is more
Sure.
health. And so that was 2 rolls.
Oh, we can only have 3 dice committed, so we need to defeat this in order to be able to commit more dice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Otherwise, we just can't commit anymore.
Woof. Okay.
So now we have free reign.
Kind of, not really. We can only apply
Max
2
of 2 dice
hits.
can be applied.
Huh. So if we're looking at, we should roll 1 really good dice and 1 really bad dice.
Or 1
Or
really
not, I
bad
don't
die
know.
and 2 really good dice.
Maybe. Yeah, probably that one.
I don't know.
No, that seems correct. Alright. Watch me roll 3 crits and we can't apply them because a max of 2 can be applied. So I did roll the 1 crit. Do you want to apply this green as well?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
Yep,
so we
3
need to get
damage.
2 more hits.
So we can add a die.
How many rolls have we done now? 3? That was our third.
That was our 3rd. So we roll 4.
So do we add
Unless you just
do
want
we
to.
add a blue?
Yeah, sure.
2 more die, 2 more rolls, get 2 more hits.
Roll 4.
Oh boy.
On the wrong camera.
If we lose, we lose. Like, we'll take 3 damage, which is how
We
much health
sure
we have.
will.
So I think it's worth.
Adding a
We
blue?
should be able to succeed with that, but I think
we should apply
I don't
that
want to lose the
probably,
game.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Not try for a crit.
All right.
It just needs 1
We
health.
need a hit.
We just can't do 2 misses here. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Defeated.
Neat. All right. So this is a miss that was committed. So with our ongoing, we just get to get it back.
Perfect. Yep. So we
This is
don't suffer any damage. Are there any after effects here we need to worry about? No.
we could have also just killed something with our stun gun, since we have to probably discard an item. Anyways. Oh no.
So much coffee on neoprene spillage today.
Okay. Decide what we're doing. I'll be right back.
Okay, great. Essentially, we have 3 items here. We have 4 in our inventory. We can only hold 5 in total. Let's take the Crater Keeper. It has a single use that we can use right away that says +1 health for each enemy currently in the active area. Because we haven't dealt with these 2, we still have 2 in the active area, so we'll go up to 5 health and use that. Let's see, once per engagement. I'm gonna get rid of the single-use red hits deal 3 damage because we just don't have room for it, and then we'll keep this one. All right, and then we have to discard a card from the top of one of the stacks. We want to try and kill the gutter die, although, oh, we get back 3 dice. So let's take those, and we'll get rid of the thrall. Okay, Spore Seed Tempest. A max of 8 dice can be committed this engagement. Non-yellow dice can only be applied if applied at the same time as a yellow. And then we have the gutter die. If you suffered any damage, add 1 to the next engagement. So I think we want to fight the gutter die. And we can just roll like all of this, and as long as we can get 8 hits on it, we're gonna get to recover all of our dice essentially. Plus we have other abilities that will help us. So that is what I'm choosing to do. We're gonna fight the gutter die. And we're just gonna roll everything.
Everything.
Yep. Because we're gonna get to recover all of our dice anyways.
Oh, okay.
So we've got
That's a crit.
crit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to keep these yellow hits for sure. That's 4. I'll keep the blue hit for 5, and then I will keep rolling to try and get 3 more hits. And there it is. All right, so we get the green back because it's a miss. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All exhausted. We don't have to deal with the after because we didn't take any damage. And then we get this as an item. The only problem is we need to make room for it in order to keep it.
That's a very good catch. Good eye. That's Storms.
Once per...
I didn't even see that, and I'm looking at it in person.
When gained. Are we going, and I think we want to be going into the end game soon.
Yes.
So I'm okay with getting rid of our Scorched Moon policy because we won't be doing that many recovery phases after this.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
And then we put this in our inventory, and then we immediately use it to recover all of our dice.
Yes. Yeah, is that...
Oh, shoot, we can't go into the end game yet because we would finish this. We still have to do one more.
No, we're not allowed to enter?
I mean, we can,
but
it'll add an enemy, which we probably don't want.
Yeah, we've been taking damage to finish that as well, so...
I did get us up by 2 by using an item.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. There is coffee in between this table insert and the table, so that's going to be a fun thing.
We get to discard one of these.
All right.
Get 2, have to.
Get 2, have to. Also, this is a question I had with all of the items that we got in that one place where I spilled the coffee in my excitement. Could we have used those items as we were getting them instead of having to discard 2 item size?
Yes, and that is what we did.
Okay, cool.
I took one and then I used it immediately.
All right.
And then we took more.
Sure.
All right, when exhausted.
Forgive any wiping sounds. That was me.
I think we can get rid of this Bevolver. Oh,
sure.
Oh boy. Oh, it's the original Drone Alone.
Wow, the whole trilogy's here. Second best Drone Alone film.
So we could, but it adds a friend.
I was going to say we could just tank that hit. We could take the Spore Seed Tempest, and then just stun gun it. And then take the 1 hit.
Or see what's underneath this. Yeah, let's, okay, all right. Let's take the Drone Alone.
Sure.
And see what's under here. It's a
mortis. It's a tortoise, but there's more of it.
So we could take the mortis and just get rid of it with the stun gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Cool. So we take the mortis. Mortis Tortoise. We're going to use a stun gun on it. I don't think a stun gun would do much to this thing. It looks quite large, but, you know, thematically we did that.
All right, so those are both gone.
So, yeah, discard 1/2 enemy from this engagement. No reward. So we do not get its delicious health. It's delicious, delicious health paste. And then we can just take the hit, right?
Yeah, I think that that's what we want to do.
Yeah, especially
to complete our mission.
Yeah, because we also just don't want to engage with it anyways. It doesn't seem great. All right, so we take the hit. Yowza, we're up to 3 engagements where we took damage. Just
completed our mission.
Like the mission said.
Boom.
All missions done. If there were dice to recover, we could do that. Ooh, the discreetle. What a discreet little beetle.
So now we get rid of something.
I think that it has 1 health, so it is fine to keep around, because if our boss pulls it, I am happy to have 1 health.
I think I'm just going to double check because the end game morphed. Apologies for needing to reference rules that I helped write.
How dare you?
Yeah, so if the boss brings in enemies, it'll be like we're just going to have to shuffle the whole discard. Like it won't be what's here. It's a shuffle of all the stacks or of all the things.
So shuffle is what's remaining as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just have to make a new. I think we should go to the boss.
All right, sure. I mean, our stats are looking pretty good. We got all of our dice. This is a beautiful thing to see when you go into a final, because you can do some big dumb rolls, some big dummy rolls.
Now the question I have for you, normally the boss would be random because we didn't take any of these cards that let us actually like look at what we're going after. Do we want it to be actually random per the rules, or do you want to let chat vote on which enemy we defeat?
Do you want to vote? Or do you want to do it random like the rules say we should? It's random for us because we are not choosing. But ultimately, the first person who says vote or not vote, I guess, will be the other option. So let us know. Our options would be the Alpha Beast. It's a real alpha. The Swarm Lord. The Mother Spore. Or the Hive Monarch.
All
Vote.
Terrifying and awesomely illustrated.
Yeah, give me a moment here. Let's get a nice close on this for a moment.
I'm going to shuffle this.
Probably sounds terrible. Here. All right. Got the 4 to choose from. Let me make the poll, for we have been told to vote. What?
So the way that the end game is going to work is we will bring in their entourage, however many plus enemies they have. If the entourage has plus enemies, we ignore that. In order to win the game, we just have to defeat the boss in this deck. That can be different in the other decks. And we keep playing round after round without discarding the ones that haven't been defeated. But we exhaust dice like normal, so unless the card says otherwise, you can't build up hits on enemies from round to round.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And the items that we have, we should probably review those and actually like use them.
So we currently have the Amputator.
Okay.
Banish 2 dice from your dice pool to immediately defeat a level 1 enemy or a 1 enemy.
So the entourage has a level 1 enemy.
And do over once per engagement. You may change 2 misses of the same color, 2 hits.
That could be good.
That would take 2 misses to do. And then we also have the Mega Epinephrine, which is like a really big allergy pen, right? That is after each roll dice step in which you roll at least 3 different colors, you may change 1 miss to a hit. So we should roll a bunch of yellow, like do a yeah. We should make use of those yellows. I'm just gonna stack our fella or fellette. I don't know what Valkyrie is. If Valkyrie's even a person, Valkyrie might be a robot. I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea what Valkyrie is.
Don't know Valkyrie's pronouns.
Yeah. All right. Uh-oh. Why is the poll not
The
working?
poll's not working.
But I put it up. And Mother Spore's winning with 0%.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it's working to me then.
I mean, it got votes. Let me, Yeah, I don't know the answer to the Cool Stuff Inc. question. That is a Gilly question for sure. But to my understanding of the situation, they were selling under our prices, and we do not supply them with games if they do that. That's the long and short.
That's
of what I
that's
know,
my
and I have
vague
no idea if that's
understanding
true.
as
So,
well. Is
yeah, do not take that as gospel, because I don't know. Don't believe they personally wronged us in any other way. Mother Spore.
Well, it looks like the poll did have 15 votes, and there are results now.
No, I know, I closed
But-
it and it did that. But it wasn't working for some, and that's not how voting works. We wait until everyone's voice is heard and we count all the votes.
Sounds good.
No votes are more important than others. Should be live. Granted, after all of the things I just said, if this vote doesn't work, then we're going to go with the last one because expediency. Well, we'll leave this up for the length of a story about Canada.
A story about Canada.
Give me a story about Canada, Shannon. What's going on there?
What's going on in Canada?
What's up with Canada?
You know
Maple
it's
leaves.
a fairly big place, right?
Yeah, but you live in it, right? I assume there's a house in the middle of Canada.
Yeah, I don't there's some crazy wildfires happening right now, which
I have heard about
isn't
That's
great.
a bummer.
Yeah, that's
Probably for them and us.
Yep. Let's see. Canada Day is coming up.
What's Canada Day?
It's like Independence Day, except for the Canadian version.
Okay.
We say a lot
Hey.
and wear maple leaves and
Sure.
celebrate the day.
Does everyone do shots of maple syrup?
No, that's not. We put maple syrup on things. Most of us don't drink maple syrup straight.
Okay. I like that you said most. There's definitely some people who do,
There
I'm
are
sure.
definitely, I'm sure, as
Don't
well.
want to disparage them. All right, so that was one Canada story. So let's go to, I'm going to close the poll. In Pennsylvania, we have your Canadian smoke. Your Canadian smoke, Shannon.
It's not mine.
So, it looks like we gonna do that Alpha Beast.
Super. All right. What does Alpha Beast say?
Both polls had responses. I don't know why they were showing 0 responses, but this one had slightly more, so that's the one we're going with.
All right. So Alpha Beast needs 12 damage
I
to
hate
die.
that.
Is going to hit us for 2 every turn.
Sure.
Which sucks because we only have 4 health, which means we need to defeat this pretty quickly.
Uh-huh. How many times does that kick attack us? Is that twice? It's pretty not good.
Hits can only be applied to enemies if all unapplied dice are hits.
Ugh.
Dice applied to the Alpha Beast are not removed in the exhaust dice step.
Yeah. Is that just wording on all of them? No.
Not all of them. I think 2 out of the 4 have
Hive
that.
Monarch.
You guys are mean for choosing. I think you read the abilities and picked the
Yeah.
one that we were least situated to handle. I think.
Uh-huh.
So
That's fine. We're
2
good.
enemies in the entourage.
We just want them to also give plus enemies, right?
Got
That's like the
a
ideal.
Crater Stalker.
Sure.
Yeah, which is level 2, which means we can't get rid of it with the other thing. And another level 2, which means we can't use that one item.
Oh, good. Also, I think we have just lost, honestly, if I'm being honest, because of the Crater Stalker just on its lonesome there in the roll dice stuff.
-1 health for each die color that rolls 2 or more hits. That's an unpleasant combo.
Oh, we also got another plus enemy from that.
We don't. You don't resolve that off the entourage.
Okay.
Just the boss.
Okay.
So that's not great. The thing is we probably should have kept that one item that just got rid of a level 2 enemy.
Probably.
We probably shouldn't use that. We should have kept it for the boss fight.
You certainly shouldn't listen to my strategic advice.
Probably should have kept one of the items that let us see what our boss was going to be so that we could adequately prepare for said boss.
Yeah.
So we made mistakes.
Yeah.
And crits can't be applied either.
That's good.
Yeah,
I don't
crits
like
can't be
those
applied.
anyways. So our
-1
yellow
health.
dice are now one-sided
It's
dice.
going to only be applied if all unapplied dice are hits. So we have nothing that lets us mitigate our misses. We do. This will let us change 2 misses into hits. So that will help with that.
That will mitigate the hits can only be applied to enemies if all unapplied dice are hits.
Yeah, because we can change 2 misses away from misses.
No, but it says you may change 2 misses into 1 hit. Or no, okay.
No, 2 misses of the same
Got
color
it.
into
Got it.
hits.
We should just toss a yellow in there. Because after each roll dice step in which you roll at least 3 different die colors, you may change 1 miss to a hit.
Okay.
Always have a yellow in that. I feel like. And we don't have any 1s, so this is basically gone. I just don't want to think about it because we don't have any 1s. So we got the Duver and the Meganephrine. All right, so.
I don't know. I don't know if we've chosen well, but.
As the old man at the end of the 3rd Indiana Jones.
Wait, for each die color that rolls 2 or more hits. So we can roll we can safely roll 1 of each color. No, that's not right.
No. Each die color that rolls 2 or more hits.
Yeah, okay. So let's do this.
We're in the right color.
Let's do this. Okay.
I have fuzz on my fingers.
I'm ready to die.
And die, you mean like
we also could have kept
single
going.
dice,
We
right?
didn't have to go into the boss fight, so we made some choices that.
So this cannot be applied. This crit that I have rolled. Let me see. But after each roll dice, when we roll at least 3 different die, you may change 1 miss to a hit, or we could change 2 misses of the same color. Okay, so those are not of the same color. But we could change this yellow to a hit. Bam. Oh, but we can't apply anything because
you rolled that 1 purple miss.
I'm a failure. Okay, so we have to reroll everything. Just because of that, right? Yes, hits can only be applied to enemies if all unapplied dice are hits.
Yeah. And we get -1 for each die color that rolls 2 or more hits. So we're at 3 health. That's fine.
Okay. We're entering the next strategy phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, good. Going very well so far. But crits do not count as misses, so that is an important thing to note. I have rolled pretty much the exact same thing. So once again, this yellow can be turned to a hit. But then we still have a miss, so we cannot apply any of these. So again, we will take 1 damage, and I believe move on to the next strategy phase.
I think at this point, the only chance we even have is if we just roll everything and miraculously get no misses.
But we'll just die to this. Unless we kill it?
Oh, that's true.
No, because it's in the roll dice step. So it's not even...
Oh, yeah.
We
lose. There's no way for us to win this.
Right?
Yeah.
But these would have to not be misses.
We can't apply crits. There's no way for us to win. It's not possible with this setup. Because we didn't set ourselves up to win.
I think we could. What if it was super lucky roll here?
We could have defeated one of these with the hit. Oh no, wait, we can't apply anything.
We can't apply anything. I think so. We still have a chance here.
Okay.
It's incredibly small. Let's see. And this is roll 3. See, that's an incredibly small chance in which we did not win. But, you know, I mean, we take 1. We still can go to roll 4. So we're going to take 1. We did the thing where we lose a health again. We're down to 1. Now we just see if one of these had been a hit. Now I could change this to a hit. Oh, we're just going to die to the Alpha Beast, though. That's what you were saying.
Lose.
Okay, never mind. Let's roll it all. Just, you know, funsies. Well, we died. I just... I'm really good at rolling that 1 miss on a purple when we don't want it to be a miss. All right, so I said we could take on the final one, but we didn't. We didn't.
Do you want to do a different? Do you want to go and do a different boss?
A different boss? Sure. Yeah.
With the different entourage?
Why not? No vote this time. Let's deal ourselves a random one, right?
Yeah, but not the Alpha Beast. Take that one out.
Let's see if the Alpha Beast likes us. Okay, so Alpha Beast.
Yeah, I guess with a different entourage, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Burn the Alpha Beast card. So,
all right.
No, it's a misprint. Just get rid of the card. The game was not supposed to be released with it.
I promise it's beatable. We didn't choose well, and then we got punished for not planning.
The Hive Monarch.
All right. With an entourage of 2.
Entourage of 2. And
the damage of all other enemies is 1.
Sure.
The Hive Monarch can have no more than 3 damage applied to it per round.
Okay.
Dice applied to the Hive Monarch are not removed in the apply exhaust dice step.
Hey, Under Greenhorn is losing, and that is what we did. Pretty good. Oh, and we still have this item.
And now we got Drone Alone 2 has made its comeback.
All right, that's always going to be making a comeback because that film is great. We go to New York. There's a cheese pizza, Tim Curry.
Okay, this is more doable. So we could banish 2 dice to just get rid of one of these level 1s.
Sure.
So this one is saying for each crit you apply to an enemy, you must first exhaust an unapplied hit. That sucks.
And the roll dice step. If you roll 2 or more misses, discard this enemy. That's great.
That's great. So let's
just
let's
get
banish
rid of
2 yellows.
And
so
this
gone.
item, we have amputated
No
the
Drone
Alone. Unlike you should do from your life, you should watch Drone Alone 2. It's a great film. You should not amputate it out.
So then we've got this.
Sure.
And if we roll 2 or more misses in the roll dice step, we'll discard this enemy.
Man. Yeah, this is actually what we did. The other one was just a practice.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we just roll some stinker dice and some good dice. You're trying to roll 2 stinkers, right? Just discard that fella.
I mean, we could just roll everything because we don't have to apply it all. Nothing's punishing us anymore for misses.
Applied to it per round. Oh, per round. So it'd be no, because we still have to take damage, and if we rolled everything, we wouldn't get our dice back. Right?
Oh, that's true. It's per round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just roll that then.
Neat.
Oh wait, we want to defeat this too. We want to roll 2 or more misses. You should be rolling some yellows in there.
Well, we are going to keep what I rolled because it's very good.
Okay.
But we will also have rolled these along with it, and I didn't do the miss. I did 1 miss.
I mean, you can keep rolling it until we get. No, you can't. You'd have to roll.
Well, we also rolled 3 different die colors, so we could change this to a hit.
Oh.
Because of that item. And then we would have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can only apply 3 hits though.
To the Hive Monarch, but we could just kill the enthralled core instead of.
Yeah, it's not dice applied, right? It's just the Hive Monarch can have no more than 3 damage, so we could just go 5 on this fella, and then 2 here, right? Or half.
Yeah, and we can keep rolling. We can try for another hit on the Hive Monarch.
Oh, we can. Yeah.
Cool.
Bambo. All
right, so this is defeated. We get this item. Exhaust 1 die from your dice pool to set the health of a 1/2. We'd have no use for that item.
And then we take 1 damage from the Hive Monarch.
This is
Ow.
all exhausted, and then we get 3 back. Or no,
Dice
these
applied to
stay.
Hive Monarch are not.
This is exhausted, we get 3 back.
Oh, yes. I think we got this.
Right.
This.
3 more, roll 3 more dice.
We didn't roll 3 more colors, so I can't change that to a hit, but
Oh,
we do have
we
infinite
suck.
rerolls. That's one. We just want to keep rerolling these, right? Sure, why not? Second reroll. Ooh, well, that's gonna cap the damage we can do, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So we've done 6. We take
So
another
these go-
damage to the
these-
Hive Monarch.
These go to exhausted. We
get
recover
back.
3, and then we will roll probably these 3, and we can just roll this one because it'll get to change to a hit. And that's enough. That's enough.
Yes.
We did it. The other one was a practice. The other one
you
wasn't
can
real.
you can edit
That
that
one was
out,
fake.
right? In post.
Uh-huh. I'll post. I'll live post. I'll change it in live. Change it in post is a good thing that everyone likes.
You don't have a 45-minute delay on the live streams that you can edit out.
Do a full
Losses.
edit. But that is how you play Solar Sentinels.
Uh,
So we beat it. We didn't lose. Alpha Beast isn't a card that's actually in the game, so we didn't
that's a
lose to
lie.
it.
Absolutely is.
But the Hive Monarch has been destroyed. The Mother Spore never even got to see the light of day, and the Swarm Lord is hanging out. Yeah.
And now we can move up in our rankings. We beat rank 1, so
Mhm,
we can move up in our rankings.
Yep, we beat rank 1. We definitely didn't lose. We're not
Definitely
below
did.
Greenhorn. The person who commented that is wrong and should not say it. It's very hurtful. But yeah, that is Solar Sentinels. We will be doing more of these. What time is that? Yeah, we're not going to do more today. We're good.
No.
We'll do more next week. Let me see. Let me put out a poll. So last week in our live stream, we put out a poll, and the winner was 40 waves plus Rage of Tyranny for a Undertow thing.
Okay.
So I will put out a poll right now to say if we should do Undertow and that stuff, or the other 20 strong decks. And without a Q&A, without that long-winded Q&A, right? Those two, we can probably get through both decks. So let me put it to you, the audience.
Sadly, I won't be here, but
Yeah.
someone else who's almost as awesome will be, I'm sure.
Yeah, who knows? I don't. 20 strong.
I could just commit someone on camera without asking them, and then they'll be obligated.
That's how it works. All right, so the poll is out. The sun is up. The sky is right. I will leave this up for a moment.
The nice thing is that whatever doesn't get picked this time will probably be picked for a future live stream.
Yeah, it's kind of just what you want to see when you want to see it.
First.
We are going to be doing a lot more 20 strong in general as it's becoming, available, and as we have finished versions. I mean, these are finished from all gameplay perspective, but
Yeah.
but some of the
It'll
materials.
be awesome when the dice are etched instead of stickered. These are definitely not just too many bones dice that we threw stickers on top of.
Oh, are they? I didn't even
Yeah.
notice. These look so real and lifelike to me. I thought these were etched because the stickers are just so good. This will also not be stickered in this fashion. I presume the chip will still be stickered. We'll not etch that onto a chip.
Shout out to our graphic design team who printed us stickers on about 10 minutes notice when we realized we didn't have stickers of the updated graphic design.
Yeah. There's no one to blame for that.
We like to keep them on their toes.
This is the chip design. We got the night and day and colors.
Yeah, right now I think they talked about it in the Q&A, but it doesn't really, the other side doesn't really have a function. You'll use it in the
It's called
in the
future
Victorum.
proofing. So
Exactly. You'll use it in the Victorum deck, but only because it doesn't really have a function in the Victorum deck.
Shannon specific question.
Anything new for the Adventures in Board Game channel, Shannon? I literally don't have access to that YouTube channel anymore.
Shannon's been locked out. Adventures are on
It's
hold.
been 5 years since I've posted that
spam.
YouTube channel.
5 years since I posted that.
I regret to inform you that my very
So it's not
short-lived
gonna come
YouTube
back?
career that channel is not coming back. I literally can't get into it because I don't know what email address I tied it to. I have no login information for it whatsoever.
Good. That's like when it's when I got a gift for my partner for the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds Special Edition DS, and I set up their account so they could download it, and I immediately forgot all the details, and Nintendo doesn't make those pretty open, so
Yeah.
that thing's locked from the internet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to close this poll.
Awesome.
We'll chat briefly about what that entails. It looks like 0%. I'm sure that's a lie, a dirty lie.
Last
Let's
time
see.
it was.
It is indeed a lie. It looks like 20 strong just barely edges out Undertow plus Rage plus 40 waves. So that is going to entail us playing these other decks. They're
And
here.
by
They're
us,
both
you mean
very strong.
other people.
Me and Shannon. Shannon's going to come back for this specifically, despite what she said earlier. But we're going to break out these Undertow cards. Maybe we'll do a vote on like what to, not Undertow cards, Victorum cards. Maybe a vote on the Scions, because you do get to choose your Scion.
Do get to choose your Scion. You also get to choose your hero, and then the heroes you don't choose become your promises.
And what's great about this too is we did Hydra, we did Camazotz, Calliope, Itsam Kabai, Tautier, Zahak, Divi Sapid, and even you might recognize this guy from this thing. We did it. We did future-proof the thing. It's all of them. Look at that. That was great.
Some inside information, and Aprilus is in here as well.
Right there.
We didn't want to spoil our playtesters, so they were just playtesting Hero X and Scion X.
Yeah, Hero X.
For quite some time, not really knowing what they were.
Yep. Does Aprilus have the Fool? Or the Fool is the Scion. I'm dumb.
Yes.
Does Aprilus have their horse?
Not in this, no, unfortunately.
So I have to pick up Victorum and a copy of that expansion.
They left it in the stable.
All right, so we'll be back with the Victorum deck, Bones deck. I'll probably vote on a Tyrant and a Gearlock, maybe.
Cool.
In chat or beforehand. I don't know. We'll figure out something fun to do with it. Otherwise, we'll do for Undertow plus 40 waves plus Rage after that, because I am excited for that, because there is a G800 in there, right? Gearlock 800. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I guess if you have any like final questions, you can pop them in. If you do it so quick, we'll reply to them. And if it's about cool stuff being blacklisted, I don't know anything about it. Don't ask that question.
Guess not.
I know there's a significant delay, so these will pop in after. But thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.
From all of us here at Chip Theory, we love you.
We do.